tonight. We call names tonight. Are you ready?
Saw a father bashing his own son.
And all the parents were arguing with each other.
It was really stressful and it made me just not feel good at all.
I stopped because I was being yelled at and it just wasn't any fun anymore.
If they've got to yell out, they could say like something encouraging, like
Good job.
or good pass.
You're doing great. You're good. Just keep trying and you'll get there.
Just let kids be kids.
Here we are at the Sydney Olympic Park Athletic Centre for the 2017 Australian Athletics Championships. Hi, my name's Matt Lynch and we are here for day 4 of 5 of the live stream and day 7 of 8 of these championships, combined junior and senior events here at Sydney Olympic Park Athletic Centre, the home of the 2000 Olympics. I'm joined up in the box by Ben Offerins and trackside with Tamsin Lewis. It's going to be an amazing night, Saturday night, full of finals. Tamsin, what are you looking forward to?
Oh, I'm so excited about the whole program. There's a lot on, but can't go past the men's 800 final. You've got Luke Matthews, Peter Boll, Josh Ralph and Alex Rowe, the Australian record holder. So that's going to be a cracker of a race. And then the women's 15, the other middle distance race of the night. You've got 3 Olympians in Zoe Buckman, Lyndon Hall, Jenny Blundell. And then you've got last year's champ. She's going for 3rd title in a row in Heidi C. So it's going to be 2 awesome races and I can't wait to watch them both.
Yeah, the distance is going to be great. We've also got some sprint finals here. So, Ben, I know you're looking forward to them.
Yeah, I certainly am. Obviously, we start with the 100s. The men, I think it's going to be Trey Williams out in front at 60 and whether these guys can actually chase him down. I think my money's on Trey at the start, but these guys will come storming at him. And then in the women's, Whistle versus Mel Breen, what a matchup. You know, we've been seeing this all year and year after year, these two going head to head. So that's going to be an exciting one. And then we turned ourselves to the 400 metres. Morgan Mitchell after the qualifier and the win to skewer her spot on the London team. We'd love to see that. And then Solo coming out here to defend his title. I think his main challenge is probably going to be Alex Beck. So we'll see if Alex can actually challenge him for the win.
Yeah, it's going to be great. And back out on the field, we've got the women's pole vault warming up now. Nina Kennedy, she's done the qualifier already. Liz Parnov, a PB at 4:51, but they're up against Eliza McCartney, the Rio bronze medalist. Also in the field, in the men's discus, we saw Matt Denny last night competing in a T-shirt because he forgot to pack a singlet. He won the hammer and he's out there in the discus. And also Kelsey Lee Roberts, a Rio Olympian, aiming for that qualifier for the 2017 London World Championships. Stay tuned, plenty of action tonight. Well, what a beautiful day. Saturday night for the 2017 Australian Athletics Championships. And such a turnaround from only a few short days ago when it was torrential rain. And we're going to get straight into the action here. Here's the men's 100-metre wheelchair From the inside, it's Nathan Donaldson, Richard Coleman, Gregory Luff, Samuel Rizzo, Samuel Carter, Jason LaChance, Sam McIntosh, Jake Lappin, Reid McCracken and Luke Bailey. And plenty of talent in his field.
Amazing field. When you look at that start list, this is probably one of the best wheelchair start lists we've probably had.
Yeah, definitely. There's some experience out there. Some youngsters as well. Obviously, they want to move up into that higher level. I know you've got Richard Coleman out there, Reid McCracken, some plenty of medalists, world-class athletes out here. I know they don't enjoy this track. It is soft for the chairs. They do prefer the harder stuff, but I know I did speak to actually Sam Carter. They are turning up in force for this 100, and I think there's another event later on tonight or maybe tomorrow. So they've come out here, and look at this big full field here, 1 to 10.
Yeah, it's good. It's amazing to see. Sam Carter, he's going to be tough to beat, but also Jake Lappin. He's been in some amazing form over the 400 metres. He rolled around in a 46 not that long ago. So I think he's definitely another one to watch. He's been based down the ACT now, working with Fred Pedriak.
You can see him rolling out there. Probably one of the best moustaches out there too.
Oh, it's lovely. He's got a little bit of a curl at the end of it. It's nice, isn't it?
I can say I have curled my moustache a couple of times, and it actually is hard to do. I was using a glue stick to try and get it to glue right. So I might have to ask him what he uses for his moustache. Now they're going out easy, but as you said before, Sam Carter in the centre lane there, pushing very fast. Richard Coleman there in lane 2, and that's Luke Bailey out on the outside. And Luke Bailey really getting into his role as he comes on the outside. We're going to see, but here comes Jake Lappin. What a push at the end.
There you go. There's the 400 metre, I guess, finish there. He's come through in the last 20 metres and just stormed over the top of the other two athletes in Bailey and Carter.
Yeah, that was excellent pushing. As you can see here, Lappin a little bit off the pace. Sam Carter getting a real good push at the start. Luke Bailey coming in as they straighten up. It is only those short last 20 to 30 metres. And really, it's only a couple of pushes for Lappin. Flying home there. A wind negative 1.1 for those wheelchair athletes. But apart from the wind, it's actually really nice weather.
It is. And we went for a walk around. We did our customary lap around the track just before we head up here to the box, just to get an idea on what the conditions are like. So they are actually very, very nice out there. And the sun's still shining. It's a beautiful evening, or it's a beautiful afternoon, I should say. It's going to turn into an amazing evening. So we're definitely looking forward to that one.
Yeah, it's getting into that magic hour. Now, there were some events only just a few short minutes ago that we managed to capture. A couple of our field events did get underway before the live stream started. They are still in progress. You can see over the back there, that is the men's discus. They are currently in the mid stages of the competition. Those athletes looking for some big throws. Now, they're looking for a 65 for the World Championships. And maybe a couple of athletes out there, 58.03 to get to the World University Games. But it looks like we've got Richard Coleman, the athlete there in lane 2 with Tamsin.
Yeah, these guys just wheeled off way too fast for me to catch them, but Rich, who always likes a crowd, he was hanging at the back. How did you go out there tonight?
I don't know if it was hanging at the back or last to finish. The hundreds, it's like, what? You can see the finish? I don't know about these hundreds. They're a bit short for us and distance guys, but it's a good one. And unfortunately, I got beaten by my junior coach. So he got me. I saw him at the finish. I went, but it's the first of many, so can't wait to see what he does in the future.
Does that mean as a coach you make the sessions this week really darn hard?
No, unfortunately not. I'll be making mine even harder to not do that again.
Okay, so obviously it is too short a distance for you, Rich. Like, you move up, you prefer the 4s, the 800s. What, 815s? You can still do a really good 400. What are the goals for the World Champs this year?
Not sure what's happening. I'm slowly building back up, and unfortunately been battling chronic fatigue the last 3 years, and I took 6 months off after Rio, and I'm feeling so much healthier and positive now with it. So we're seeing, but I'm coaching so many juniors who are just adorable, and I know they're going to all beat me soon, but we're doing a 14K road race next weekend in Melbourne, and I've got a few of my guys doing that, so I've got to do a bit more work than 100 metres there. Then I'm not sure what's the rest of the year, but then on to Com Games.
Well, we love having you out here. Thanks, Rich, and good luck for the future, and stay healthy.
And as you can see there, thank you, Richard and Tamsin. But those throws were a little bit earlier in the program for the men's discus. You can see Denny coming in for one of his early performances. Obviously, he's got the singlet on this time.
Yeah, it's good to see he's actually remembered his singlet last time. So we asked him what was with the shirt, and it turns out he's just left his singlet behind.
Yeah, he had 3 or 4 singlets laid out, and this is an old QAS one. He's going retro. And just getting a good feel right there. Just a touch over 60 metres for Matthew Denny.
And as Julian was saying, this is a bit of a high five.
A little bit of a high five. There it is.
The front of it was just up a little bit. Julian Ruck would have called that a high five, I'd say.
And there's the... it's a very interesting cut for that singlet. It must have been the very old school. Denny won the hammer only last night in that very exciting competition. But Julian Ruck shaved down for this competition. Hair almost down to the waist.
Almost didn't recognise him when I saw him in the TIC.
And no beard for Ruck. And he does an extra spin. It's almost an extra half spin.
This time on the front straight with the women's over at triple jump. 10 athletes will contest the event.
And not a bad throw. He's been a little bit sick of recent, so it's good to see him still in this competition and throwing very, very well. And we'll keep you updated with all the goings-on in that men's discus as it continues. And there you can see on the screen now the men's ambulant 100 metres from lane 2, Lachlan Foote, Jacob Phillips, Matthew Guild, Braden Davidson, Scott Reardon, Evan O'Hanlon, Mitchell Christensen and Nathan Woods. Again, just like the wheelchair race.
You're looking at this and you've got Olympic champions. It's not often we have a race here in Australia with multiple Olympic champions. Obviously, we've got Evan O'Hanlon in there, Olympic champion from London, silver medalist from Rio. We've got Scotty Reardon also in there, gold medalist from Rio. Who could forget that one?
Exactly, and Braden Davidson, gold medalist in the long jump.
There you go. It's good to see him coming out onto the track.
Yeah, they do need the speed. I wish some of the other long jumpers tested themselves out over the 100 a little bit more. They do talk the talk. I know Fabrice did put an Instagram other day saying the fastest 100-metre runner in Australia does long jump.
There you go. Mitch Watt was one that everyone thought could run a good 100. Unfortunately, he wasn't the best starter.
10:31 he's actually run.
Yeah, I saw that one. It didn't even get the start.
No.
So he was definitely one of our quickest long jumpers going around. I reckon he probably would have been good for a 10-2 at least.
I do know Jai Tarema once told me before Sydney Olympics he was doing blocks with Shervo and PJ and was actually taking them over the first 20.
Wow.
And if you watch any footage of Jai Tarema, he was hitting the board at some speed.
Yep. But this is going to be a good race. Definitely going to be a good race. So obviously Evan, he had a bit of time off after Rio, so he wasn't quite sure what he was going to do, whether he was going to continue athletics, but it seems like that passion's come back to him now. He's actually moved up here to Sydney. Okay. He's no longer down in Canberra. He's still working with his coach Arena, but obviously he's doing it from up here. He's living full-time in Sydney. And from all reports that when I spoke to him, he's enjoying it up here. So
excellent.
I think he's happy to be home.
Yeah, and you might even notice they are running on the back straight.
Yep.
For these events. So the
people power. They've decided to turn it after obviously last night's comments. It's good to see that the officials have gone out there, set up the back straight camera and allowing these athletes to make use of these tailwinds.
Yeah, it will be reassessed after the semi-finals for the men and women as well, just to make sure they get the promised of conditions. But we saw that wheelchair race on the front straight, minus 1.1, so it means it'll be a plus 1.1 out the back, and we might see some very fast times.
Most definitely. Scotty's a bit of a character. Not many people know this. He was actually a world champion water skier.
Water skier?
Water ski. Yeah, he used to water ski before he was doing track and field. He was a world champion in it.
Excellent. You do see a lot of these athletes, like we said, James Turner was a soccer player. He was in the Australian soccer team.
Yep.
And I don't think they qualified for Rio, and that's why he switched to athletics and took himself a gold and a world record. So
how's that?
switch sport, give it a crack, go and win a gold medal.
Steve Solomon was actually a junior soccer player as well. I think he might have been a captain of his team, of the Australian team.
Yeah, he had a lot of scouts after him in his junior years. I'm glad to see he stuck with the track, though. Would have been disappointing to see him go off to soccer and lose such a talent.
Yeah, exactly. It's good to have those athletes at our disposal for what an awesome night it will be tonight, the Saturday of the 2017 Australian Athletics Championships.
It's also good to see the New Zealand athletes coming out here. We go over there, so we actually sent a couple of ACT athletes over to New Zealand for the New Zealand champs, and they raced. And Lockie Foote, who's in this final here, was one of the athletes that went over there to compete. And a couple of those New Zealanders have come back here, repaid the favour. One, Will O'Neill, who's in Nitro. He was in the Nitro team for New Zealand. Didn't make the finals, 9th fastest. Ran a PB, though, so he's still pretty happy.
That's all you can ask.
Sounds like we've got a bit of a friend up here in the box.
Yeah, a little bird has landed on the WA Athletics flag right above us. Hopefully.
Maybe we'll have to go get some bread or something. I don't think anyone's going to have any bird feed, but anyway, back to the track.
Off and running, Evan O'Hanlon, the fastest in the heats with 11.27, and we should see him get a very good start. That's Matthew Guild in the maroon, but Evan O'Hanlon flying down those later stages, and he'll take the win from Guild and Nathan Woods, South Australia, on the outside. 11.28, the unofficial winning time. The wind, 0.0. So, we can't say if it was a good idea to take it down to the back straight, but no wind is no wind, and that's excellent for these guys. But obviously we'll have to wait and see from our percentages who takes out the gold, but Evan O'Hanlon taking line honours. Yeah,
he actually got a better start than he did in his heat. He wasn't too quick away in his heat, but he's got away well there, and he started to move away, especially from that 50-metre point onwards. He's really started to move away from the other athletes, but fantastic run there by Guild. He pushed Evan all the way in the heats. They drew the same heat, definitely pushed him all the way. So it's good to see some of these young athletes coming through and pushing the, obviously, the veteran athletes. You'd probably call Evan O'Hanlon a veteran
definitely.
of the track now.
And he's got a good range too. He's very handy over the 2 and the 4.
Yep.
You can see the crowd now starting to fill up. We've had a lot of junior events throughout the day with a lot of senior athletes now threading into the track with some junior relays to come only a few short moments away after the rest of the Ambulant 100 metres and just before the 100-metre semis. Now it looks like Tamsin's got a couple of our athletes out there on the back straight. Tamsin.
Oh, I just grabbed the superstar, the winner, Evan O'Hanlon. Tell us, what were the conditions like out there? They've moved it down the back straight. Happy?
Yeah, well, I'm not here to run any qualifying time, so I'm not going to complain if we're on the front straight or the back straight, but I understand there is athletes here that are trying to do that, and for them to turn around, it's really good for the sport.
Talk to us about your training. How's it been going?
Yeah, good. It's been really different for me since Rio. I've moved to Sydney, and I'm working for my parents' architectural firm, so working from 12 o'clock every day means I only train once a day, compared to like full-on before, so really happy with how I ran, considering that I'm not training as much, and I'm just trying to limit the damage, I suppose.
It's a good point that you make. Like, it's pretty tough to be a track and field athlete. Obviously, there's not a lot of money in the sport, and so you do have to work, and then you have to work out the balance. Still aiming to make the World Champs team, though.
Yeah, so I did retire after Rio for a couple of months.
Yeah, we didn't like that. We didn't like that at all.
My parents convinced me to come back, and so I was going to go work full-time, and I'm working part-time for them. Yeah, I'm going to World Champs, hopefully, if they pick me in the team. And my real aim is to go to Commonwealth Games and see how I can go there.
Okay, so we thank your parents for keeping you in the sport. Well done, Evan. You looked fantastic out there.
Yeah, we've got to thank all the top athletes, parents and family, I think, because they're the only reason they keep doing it. I mean, as a Paralympian, it's really hard to get any sponsors and stuff like that. So, yeah, my family's done a great job. Thanks.
Had the same conversation with Rich Coleman off air. It is tough. You're doing really well. You've had a great career, and I can't wait to see what you still have to offer for us.
Cheers, I'll see what I can do.
Yeah, thanks for that, Tamsin. Always good to have a chat to Evan. He's definitely been one of our premier athletes over the years. So there's your start list for the women's 100-metre run Ambulant. In lane 2, we've got Sophie Patton from South Australia. In lane 3, Brianna Coop from Queensland. Lane 4, Isis Holt from Victoria. Lane 5, Ella Party from Western Australia. Lane 6, Erin Cleaver from New South Wales. Lane 7, Kobe Donovan from Queensland. Lane 8, Tasman Colley from New South Wales. And rounding out your field is Taylor Doyle from New South Wales. Now, Maddie, a few Paralympic medalists in this one as well.
Yeah, a few of these athletes joined together to make a 4x1 over in Rio. Erin Cleaver, Ella Party and Isis Holt. The only one they're missing is Jodie Elkington-Jones. So it's always good an opportunity to, for the para-athletes to get together and do a relay. And I'm sure they're ready to try and see who can take the victory in this 100 metres.
Yeah, obviously we've been in a couple of relay teams together. I find that when you're in these relay teams, you seem to bond with the other members of the team. When you come back out here to race each other, sometimes it is a little bit of a competition, a little bit of a game.
Definitely
to
is.
see who can get the bragging rights over the other athlete. So I don't think this will be any different. These girls will be out here to obviously take the scalp of the other one. So we'll see how they go. Obviously, we're going to see those 3 lanes in the middle in Holt, Party and Cleaver. They're probably your top 3. They were the quickest through to this final. And as you said, they were those 3 relay medalists. They're away. Isis with the better start in that one. She's going to lead them through the first 20 metres. But here comes Ella Party from Western Australia. She's going to move past Isis Holt. She's going to move on from this one. She's pulling away. Isis is fighting back as well as Erin Cleaver. But obviously, Ella Party is going to take the line honours in the women's 100-metre Ambulant. So we'll have to wait for the official time in that one. But Ella, always very happy with a win. You should have seen her in Nitro. She took a win there, and boy, was she happy.
Yeah, and you can see that, just that top-end speed that she had. Isis, a bit of a shorter athlete, quicker out of the blocks, but Party, once she got into her stride, really just opened up and moved away from the rest of the field. There's Erin Cleaver in 3rd position. So those 3 of the 4 medalists from Rio in that 4x1, taking the first 3 places across the line.
Yeah, but doesn't mean they're going to be the top 3 on the podium. Obviously, we have to wait for the officials to give us the updated results that obviously takes into account the different classifications. As you can see, we're looking at those flags. Those flags they're starting to drop a little bit. They were flying a fair bit before, so hopefully the wind's coming down. Anyway, looks like we've got Tamsin down there with an interview.
I'm here with Ella Party and Isis Holt, 2 of the stars from our Rio Paralympic team. Ella, first to you. That was a great win. Thank you. You competed in Nitro. You look like you had an absolute out.
I did. I can't believe I met Usain Bolt. And I think I did well for my team, and despite my injury.
Good job for your team. And I tell you what I did like the most was your victory lap when you came second in the sprint. You looked like you were having a great time out there. Well done, and great job tonight. Isis, you're back?
Yeah, it's amazing. It feels so good.
Obviously leading into the Paralympic Games last year in Queensland, I think you broke the world record, 13:51.
Yeah, it was a crazy lead up to Rio. It feels like yesterday, but also like years ago. So, yeah, it's really nice to actually have like a half-decent result as well.
Well, it was fantastic. And then tonight, you've obviously got pretty close. You've run sub 14 seconds, I would say. It's hard to know. I haven't seen the result, but that's a pretty good time for this time of year.
Yeah, it's really exciting, actually. Like, the goal was to come off the heat and run hopefully an even better time. And if I've done that, then I'll be over the moon. It's amazing. I'm great.
And just looking forward to being named in the World Champs team for later this year in London.
Yeah, so exciting. Should be really interesting. And like I remember this time 2 years ago, getting named in the team for Doha and being able to.
Well, it's an amazing effort. You're 14 in Doha. You're going to be the old age of 16. It's going to be fantastic. We're looking forward to watching you, and good luck for your training, Isis.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, only 14 in Doha when she took out the gold medal. That is
amazing,
ridiculous.
isn't it? Absolutely amazing.
Reigning champion if she heads over to the IPC World Champs in 2017 at 16.
Yeah, not just world champion, world record holder.
Yeah, absolutely ridiculous. Silver medal over in Rio. So she's got all these medals and still so young.
Yeah, and it's with the world record, it's not just the field wasn't of any quality. You know, sometimes you have the quality in fields ebbs and flows, as it does in able-bodies, but she's a world record holder, which means she is the best of the best that's ever been.
Exactly. It wouldn't matter what field was out there.
No, it doesn't matter. Best there's ever been.
Now underway over, it's in the very early stages. The start list for the women's pole vault there. Tamara Mancuso, Eliza McCartney, Madeline Lawson, Emily Marshall, Catherine Ianello, Kate Abfelter, Marlon Vic Gregor, Jamie Scroop, Olivia McTaggart, Lisa Campbell, and on the other side of the page, Elizabeth Barrell, Hannah Philpott, Lauren Hyde-Cooling, Elizabeth Parnov, Nina Kennedy, and Rafaela Corney. They're only in very early stages, opening height of 340, and it looks like we've had a few athletes already clear. And there's your men's high jump start list. Nick Boyich, Joel Baden, Rio Sato, Thomas Bredden, Grant Zarlek, Niraj Singh Randwana, Hamish Kerr, Lee Hoopway, Sean Zarlek, John Dodds. And that is your starters in this men's high jump final.
Okay.
Australian champion. 12.44 seconds, which is 97.35% of the classification from the ACT, Scott Reardon.
Now here you go. This is the men's under 14 4x1. It's been a long week, and a lot of these teams trying to get the athletes to hang around this time. So it looks like we've got New South Wales, Queensland, and Victoria, and that'll be your starters. No ACT team.
No, we haven't got an ACT team in this one. It's we find it's for us. It's one of those age groups we're trying to currently build, and it's one of those things where we have quite a number of athletes in this age group, but when you've got throwers, jumpers, it doesn't mean you've got 4 track guys to be able to put out there on the field. So unfortunately we don't have a team in this one, but that's just the way it goes. Sometimes we have age groups where we'll have all field event athletes, or we might have all track athletes. It's amazing how it goes.
Yeah, it is an interesting one. Let's just hope all the boys get the baton around nice and safely. Guaranteed a medal.
Exactly.
And it's something that will stick with them. If these guys get it all around, it'll stick with them for a long time. Remember, you got that medal in their first age group. Now, Tamsin's down there to give us a little track report.
Yeah, guys, I'm at the pole vault, the women's pole vault down here, and I've just been told that Nina Kennedy's retired. She's pulled out. I'll try and find out exactly why, but the big guns haven't started. It's at 3 metres 60 at the moment. Eliza McCartney's coming in at 4:30, and Liz Parnov's coming in at 4:15.
Well, that's sad news. Hopefully it's not too much of an issue.
Yeah, hopefully it's nothing serious. No serious injury there. Hopefully it's just precautionary. But obviously she was out here to try and take that title to secure a spot on the team.
Yeah, so if she won, she would have been automatic to the World Champs in London. So now we're just going to hope for a big clearance from Liz Parnov. Get that PB. She did a PB the other week, 4:51. Needs 4:55. Wins, she's going. But just a chance to compete against Liza McCartney. I know last year Liza spent a lot of time out in Australia training with Alana Boyd up at the Sunshine Coast with Alana's dad Ray, and obviously spurred them on. They both jumped the exact same height in Rio. Unfortunately for Australia, Eliza taking the medal.
Yep. It's one of those events you can place 5th, 6th, but still be on the same height as another athlete, but obviously the count back comes into play.
Yeah, it makes it tough. But here we go, the men's under 14 boys, the men's under 14 boys, we'll just say the boys, 14 years, 4x1. So from the inside, it's New South Wales, Queensland and Victoria on the outside. Just 3 teams. New South Wales getting a very, very good start. He's pushing up onto the shoulder of the Queensland athlete. Let's hope for some clean changes. That looks like Donovan Bradshaw. I think he's won the 1, 2 and 4 and long jump. And he's tearing down the back straight. The youngster from Queensland pushing past the Victorian, but it's New South Wales with a big lead. This is probably the first time a lot of these guys have done any changes with each other. Queensland just getting that baton in. Let's hope for a white flag there. Just got to get it around safely. And there we go. Big change there for New South Wales. And 2 safe changes there for Victoria and Queensland. But it's a huge lead for the very fast New South Wales athlete. They'll take the win in 47.90. Queensland in second and Victoria taking the bronze.
Geez, that was close, wasn't it? That second change over down on the 200-metre start. Queensland team. As soon as they went past, I did look at the officials. I'm pretty sure I saw the white one go up. So let's hope my eyes didn't deceive me and that this Queensland team hasn't been DQ'd. No issues. Obviously, it's a long distance for us to see over the 200-metre mark.
It's probably the furthest part of the track away from us.
Definitely not the one to call whether it was in or not, but we do hope that all those teams got through safely.
Yeah, fingers crossed for a nice safe change. Now, earlier, just before we started, we did have the women's 100-metre wheelchair. They went down the back straight, and we'll cut to that now. There's the start list. Angie Ballard on the inside, Robin Lambert and Sarah Jane Clifton-Bly. Ange Ballard, 1,500-metre gold medalist from Glasgow. And very handy medalist over in Rio as well. I know a lot of these athletes have competed a lot together. I know down at the Summer of Vats Grand Prix. A couple of these athletes were head-to-head. See Angie Ballard getting a very big push at the start. Clifton Bly trying to chase her down, but Angie Ballard got a huge range from 1 all the way up to 1,500 metres, and she's just too strong for the rest of the field. Pushing away down the back straight to take the win.
Class athlete, Angie Ballard.
And it's good to see the support. She's been out here all weekend down in Summer of Vats Grand Prix, and I know a lot of these athletes, they will head over to, where is it in Sweden? Or Switzerland?
Switzerland, to a place called Notwil, just outside Luzerne. There's a specialist facility there. There's a nice track. It's almost like a circle as opposed to the oval shape you have. But they love the facility out there. It's built specifically for them. But we're just going to quickly throw down to Tams. It looks like she's down there with Nina Kennedy.
No, I don't have Nina Kenny, but I've hunted down the Western Australia crew and spoke to Alex Parnov. And apparently she just got a bit of a sore foot. It's completely precautionary. She just wasn't quite right. So with her qualifier already, she just wanted to be careful. But Liz Parnov is out there and they're hoping that she can get over that magical 4 metres 55 and book her ticket on the plane.
Yeah, I think that's a smart decision by Nina. Obviously, you don't want to do any further damage. So if you do have a little bit of an injury like that, especially when you've already got the qualifier, that's the thing. She's already got it. She's not out there still trying to chase it. So I think that's a wise decision from Nina and Alex Parnov, who obviously takes care of her. And as we see there's your start list for the men's discus open throw. Your lineup, Bradley Kemp from Queensland, Peter Toamuto from New South Wales, Matsutura Nugami from Japan, Connor McLaughlin from Queensland, Courtney Hines from WA, Matthew Denny from Queensland, Mitchell Pepper from New South Wales, Lachlan Page from South Australia, Julian Ruck from Queensland, Paul Zucchetto from ACT, Yuji Tsumi from Japan, Dean Watrous from Queensland, Michael Vasilopoulos from Victoria, and Alexander Parkinson. What are they trying to do to me with that start list?
Yeah, you got a tough one. I'll give you that one.
There's about 4 or 5 of them in there that sort of rattled me a little bit, but that's all right. Anyway, here we go. Back to the track. Women's 4x1 relay under 14s. Your lineup from the inside. New South Wales lane 2, South Australia lane 3, Victoria lane 4, WA lane 5, and Queensland lane 6. So obviously this isn't like the last one, so we will be playing for medals, but with 5 teams instead of the 3, so not all finishers will receive a medal. Top 3 will.
Yeah, fingers crossed again. Everyone just gets it around safe.
Exactly.
That's the first rule of...
Especially with these younger age groups. You know, obviously, the Opens, fair game. If you don't get it around, that's your fault. But we obviously like to see these younger age groups getting it around safely. And away there. Looks like a fairly even start as we move away, but Victoria now starts to get into their run. They're going to come around. Looks like they're going to lead through the first change. As we come out, not a bad change there by Western Australia. They're going to get a few metres back on Victoria, but still Victoria and Western Australia and Queensland out there in the lead. Victoria starts to move up onto the West Australian runner. We'll look at the changeover again. Good changeovers by Western Australia and New South Wales. They're going neck and neck. They're going to come around into the bend, into the straight, into the final change. It's going to come down to this. Oh, great change there by Victoria. They've opened up a lead of about 3 metres. And here they come, running away. Make it 5. Fantastic effort there by the Victorian team. They'll take the win, followed by Western Australia and Queensland in 3rd. I think all safe changes on that one look pretty good.
Yeah, good to see all the teams getting the baton around there. 5 starters, 5 finishes. That's what you want to see from a relay.
Yep, definitely.
A Victorian athlete. She did win the 100 metres earlier today. And very strong there. But just in the front of in the stadium, Talia Clark starting off with the women's triple jump. Katie Miyasaka, Josie Nicol, Linda Leverton, Tiara Exum, Stevie Donaher, Megan O'Reilly, Jasmine Fountas, Anna Thompson, and Alison Nankivel. Now, it's a famous name in there, Tiara Exum.
Dante's?
It is.
Yeah, Dante's sister.
Dante Exum's sister, playing for the Utah Jazz, who are actually going pretty good at the moment.
Yeah, not too bad. Obviously, he was the number 5 pick in the NBA draft, but had a season out with a injury, which was unfortunate. But he's come back this season, actually playing pretty good.
Now, looks like we got Tamsin down there for a round update from the open triple jump.
Yeah, they're into round 3, guys, and Tay Clark has jumped 13.26 to be leading the competition. She did it in the 3rd round. In the first round, there was a few fouls because I think the wind is really gusty, so the ladies are struggling to hit that board. So behind her, we've got the Japanese competitor, Kade Miyaska. You want to say that better than me, Maddie? With 13.20. So it's pretty tight there. She's got good competition, but Megan O'Reilly's also gone over 13 metres from Victoria in 13.02, but she's still waiting to have her 3rd attempt. And obviously Linda Leverton, who's a former champion of the event, represented Australia at Commonwealth Game level. She's at 12.97, so it's not a bad effort coming back from giving birth to twins.
Yeah, she's actually our 2nd longest triple jumper of all time. Linda Leverton. Nicole Melendez, national record. Maldenis.
Yep.
West Australian athlete.
Yep.
With a jump over 14. Only Australian ever to go over 14 legally.
Yep.
I know Linda Leverton's done over the Australian record, unfortunately.
I'm going to guess Linda's PB, 13.97.
That's what I was going to say.
Boom.
Pretty sure she's got a 14.07 windy.
Okay.
Which would... I'm sure you'd say, just take a couple of wins off and give me a 14.05.
Yeah, I'm a believer of a little bit of give in the wins. If it's a mid to low sort of 2, I'd pay that.
Oh, there it is. So here we go. There's the official results for that 4x1 we just saw. 49.46, 50.42 and 50.81 for the first 3 teams from Victoria, WA and Queensland. And that's the men's result that we saw just previous. 47.88 for New South Wales. Very dominant in that race. 50.29 for Queensland and Victoria. 52.07. There's Megan O'Reilly out on the runway in looks to be still the 3rd round. Came in with a 12.82 from the prelims.
Well, she's already hit a 13.02 in a 2nd round. So it looks like that's near that 13 metre mark. So this may be an improvement on that 13.02.
Giving a plus 0.1. So the wind's not too strong, but these girls are in front of the stadium. And looks like our hundreds will be over the back straight for at least the semi-finals.
Yeah, it's a lot more sheltered in front of the main grandstand. The flags are out there waving again a little bit. So they might actually get some handy tailwinds down the back straight when they came up for the semi-finals.
Yeah, the back straight does look quite breezy. As you can see, some of our athletes now, this is the under-16 boys 4x200 metres. You see the start list now on our screens. In lane 2, WA, New South Wales in 3. 4, ACT, 5, Tas. In 6, Victoria, Queensland. In lane 7 and in lane 8, South Australia. Now, 4x2, it's a not often run event.
I've never actually run it. I've never run a 4x2.
It's an interesting one. The only time I've ever done it is been at a New South Wales State Relays, and it's quite probably one of the biggest relay events in Australia, the New South Wales State Relays, and I dropped the baton.
Yeah, see, I never actually ran in an under-16 age group. First age group I came in was under-18s.
Fair enough.
I'm a little sad about it.
Well, it's a great event.
It'd be a fantastic event.
4x200 will be at Bahamas for the World Relays.
But we're not sending a team. Not for the 4x2 anyway.
No, it would be nice to.
Oh, it would be great. But I probably wouldn't get selected, so then I wouldn't get to run anyway.
So don't even worry having it. They don't have it then.
Yeah, they don't have
We
it. If
can't
I'm
be
not
in
running it.
Yeah, well.
Then we'd have to worry about it.
Yeah, just leave it. Just
Imagine a junior 4x2 when we were running it. It would have been fantastic if we had that opportunity.
Would have loved it.
Yeah.
4x4.
Yeah.
Give me 4x2. So they will start on the 4x400 metre marks. One full lap. Second athlete will hand it off in front of the home straight, and the third athlete will cut in down the back straight. So it's effectively just like the first 2 legs of a 4x4. So it's a little bit interesting.
We've actually just been joined by Glenn Turner. I wonder if we can convince Glenn Turner to get down here, maybe come in for just these relays. I think it'd be a good expert commentator in here for these 4x200 metres. Welcome, Glenn.
Hi, gentlemen. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you for taking time out of your duties down as a ground announcer to come up here to live stream.
You're welcome. Very excited about these relays tonight. Of course, we have to be unbiased, but we've seen Victoria clean up most of this week.
Oh, I don't believe so. You've obviously haven't been watching the javelin. Queensland absolutely dominating the javelin. And I can even claim New South Wales a little bit too, so I'm kind of covered across the board here.
Yeah, it's not too bad. I'm across 3 states.
Oh, exactly.
New South Wales, West Australia and ACT.
Oh, easy.
There
easy
you go.
life.
But I can't bring myself to support Victoria and Queensland, I'm sorry.
That's all right, I understand that. But more importantly, it's great to see that nearly every state's represented in these relays. So,
yeah, it does make it exciting. Obviously, not a lot of Northern Territory athletes.
But imagine a championships up there in the Territory during the dry season. Imagine that.
These are your competitors in the men's 4x200 metres under 16 relay.
You yourself run any 4x2s?
only once in about 1989, to be perfectly honest.
They still had 4x2s all the way back in 1989?
Look, Cinders was very popular in a track in Tasmania before we moved to the modern stuff.
So. Oh, so you can claim Tasmania as well as a state?
I can.
Well, we've got everything covered. Just South Australia missing.
Junior representative in the 400 metres. Actually went away with another CEO of one of the states, Gabby Steele from Tasmania.
They're off and running now from the inside. It's WA, New South Wales, ACT, Tasmania, Victoria, Queensland and South Australia. We'll wait and see as they open up. Big gap here from the Victorian. I'm pretty sure this athlete from Victoria won the 200 earlier.
Yeah, that's correct. Looks like Queensland going out exceptionally hard.
Now, it'll be interesting changes here. It's a little bit of a 4x4, a little bit of a 4x1 change. It's hard to tell just how fast they're coming into these changes, but Victoria with a very handy lead.
Yeah, looking very strong in the early stages. Queensland on the outside starting to fight back, but don't be disillusioned with the stagger as they head round into the second change.
Yeah, New South Wales.
Yeah, that's Felix Long there. He's had a great leg. He's brought New South Wales right back into this. I reckon they could even round this bend in the lead. They're going to push Victoria for this one.
It'll be interesting when they get to the cut-in, depending on how hard they cut. And they're going to be lined up in lane order over the back straight. So this is where the tricky stuff happens. You've got to sight your athlete and try and get a clean change. And it does make it very tricky. Queensland athlete running very well. They hand off to Godfrey Okarang. Came third in the 100 metres earlier. And it looks like Melvin Monlay.
Yeah, look, Monlay's back part of his 200 will be strong. But I think New South Wales are in a commanding position.
It's going to be a battle between the second and third, though.
Yeah, Genya Diaz from Queensland trying to chase him down, and he might just get him. It's going to be very close. New South Wales holding on. Queensland just running out of space there. 1:30.77, the unofficial winning time for New South Wales. Excellent running there. And looks like every team got the baton around safely.
Got the baton around.
That's all you can ask for our athletes.
Exactly. I'm still jealous that you guys have run 4x2s.
I've never actually finished a 4x2.
Run one.
I can't say I've finished a 4x2.
Still got a chance to
Last
compete
leg,
in it.
got the baton, turned around, slipped out of my hand.
Well, whose fault's that?
I was on the track, went to pick it up, got kicked off the track.
Cool.
Game over then.
That's it.
And the team that kicked it off the track, that was in the heat, they won the final. I was definitely going to take him.
Cool. Maybe you should have put your $50 down on the table and protested on that one.
It wasn't worth it.
Probably didn't have the $50
I
to do
probably
it.
didn't have the $50.
It's good to see you've let it go as well.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. It looks like Tamsin's got our second and fourth leg from that winning New South Wales team.
Got Felix, that's right. I interviewed the other night. Now, I'm going to have to start with you because the guys have been talking about fashion on the track, and you've got the one sleeve.
Mine's over there with my brother. I forgot it.
Well, it didn't seem to affect you. You ran a great last leg.
Thank you. That was fun, though.
We don't get to run those sort of events that often. Now, tell me, why do you have the one sleeve?
Oh, my friend gave it to me. Sasha's my man. It's good luck now.
Tamsin, you can let Felix Long know that is a do. Ben supports that one.
The guys are telling me that is a definite passionate do because you pulled it off brilliantly. You won the race. Because you guys ran so fast, you know you're going to have to wear that the whole time, Felix.
Oh, I don't mind it. Looks good. Let's go get pink ones. What do you reckon? Yeah. Pink ones. Sounds good.
Okay, guys, you've both had fantastic athletics carnivals here at the National Championships. Bit of a break now?
Oh, no. I still have one more back here in like 3 weeks. The multi-event for ALAC. And then I'm done. Yeah, I forgot to sign up for that ALAC, so I won't be there. But good luck to him, so hopefully he can do good.
It was a fantastic event. You guys are great fun to interview, so anytime the camera's out, you make sure you come over and say hello.
All right, sweet. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks to Felix and Godfrey for a nice little chat. Let's hope they guys don't get to design our Australian uniform. We'll have pink and black and armbands everywhere. Armbands, headbands.
Yeah, no, I don't like yellow. We're getting rid of yellow. Don't like green. We'll get rid of that too. We'll just go with pink and blues and all sorts.
Now, I've got an update for the discus out there. It has been wrapped up and it's been taken out by Julian Ruck. He has won the discus, 61.56. And not too far away, Matt Denny taking the silver medal, 61.28. And in bronze, Yuji Tsutsumi, 56.45. And fourth place, another Japanese athlete in 55.87, taking the bronze for Australia, will be our sixth place athlete, Courtney Hines.
There you go, West Australian.
West Australian, that's exactly right.
Obviously no flappy ducks from Julian.
No, he's taking the win, and it's good to see him back. He's had a bit of trouble. He's been sick a little bit. But we're over at the pole vault currently. And that is our New South Wales athlete, Elizabeth Barrell. And the bar just getting up to some extra interesting heights there. 3 metres 60, and that was unfortunately the third attempt for Barrell. We'll see her bow out in the competition.
Now, Glenn, AA competition director, is that the title?
Event director.
Event director.
Yep.
Event director. So we'll quickly go to start this. So in this one, lane 2 South Australia, lane 3 Western Australia, lane 4 ACT, lane 5 New South Wales, lane 6 Queensland, and rounding out field, lane 7 Victoria. Now, how was it being part of the Nitro series?
Look, it was a very tough experience. It was challenging, but it was certainly rewarding. I think after 3 nights of competition, we had 21,000 people attend the event across 3 nights. The television audience was sensational, and the opportunity to create something new for athletics was also, a bit of a thrill. But I think mostly for me, walking around the crowd and seeing so many young kids actually, standing watching their idols and getting involved with athletics was probably the the best thing. So.
And there's a good chance there's a lot of them out here on the track this week. And they're away. Clean start. Western Australia looks like they've had a fly out. They're going to move away with this one. Started to make the stagger up on the ACT team. But as they go down the back straight, looks like the Victorian team is out there in the outside lane, doing well. But New South Wales starting to make up the stagger on the Queensland team. They're going to change over in first place.
Yeah, good first leg from New South Wales. Bit unorthodox bat and change, but look, it's more about making sure you have a clean change to your second runner, Ben. So they're starting to move forward now, looking very strong.
Yeah, the New South Wales team, they've made up the stagger up on Queensland and Victoria. So they're going to be commanding position coming into this second change. This is the leg where the athletes have to cut over after 100 metres.
Yeah, look, good change for New South Wales, and the stagger will certainly help them. Victoria on the outside starting to move forward. Don't discount Queensland or Western Australia as well, but at the moment, New South Wales, again, they've really performed well, their baton changes this week. Victoria moving into second.
Yeah, as you said, here comes the Western Australian team on the inside. They've moved themselves up into second place and may possibly even change in second. Great leg there from the Western Australian athlete.
Yeah, so all the athletes move into lane one, and it's now cutthroat. But she's got to move in. I don't know why she's hanging on the outside. She's given the advantage to Russell from Victoria on the inside. What a great opportunity for Victoria. But look, Western Australia coming home with a wet sail. Geez, this has been a great run from WA. Unfortunately, New South Wales stayed in their lanes. WA will take this from Russell, from Victoria and New South Wales.
Wow, what a mistake. What a mistake.
That's the issue with the not often run 4x2. Some athletes, they don't get the memo.
But I've been through many call rooms and been let out. Officials are good on this. They do instruct the athletes to cut in, and I'm sure the officials would have been telling the athletes out at that last change to cut in. So I don't know what's happened there with the New South Wales athlete. She's run the whole bend in lane 3 or 4 and come down the straight, given up the lead that they had going into that last change to West Australia and Victoria.
Still an excellent run from the New South Wales team.
Yeah.
Beautifully done from all the athletes out there. Excellent program for these guys. They've had a big week and finished with a relay in front of such a big crowd. Looks like Tams has got the Western Australian athlete and maybe a Victorian.
No, what I've done is I've grabbed the last runner and the second runner from the Western Australian team. So I've got Sophie, Lily. Wow, that was pretty exciting. Sophie, firstly to you, you got the baton in third and you charged home. That was fantastic.
Thank you, yeah, I mean, we had a great team. We were set up really well and I just thought, I've got nothing to lose, just got it. One of my last events, so yeah.
And you've had a fantastic championship so far. You must be pretty happy.
Yeah, I'm stoked. I mean, to come away with 3 golds and a meet record, I couldn't ask for any more.
Okay, so which was your favourite race out of the 3?
Probably my 100 hurdles. I was running up in age group, I really had nothing to lose and was really happy to come away with the gold.
Okay, so this is a name we have to watch. You're a definite superstar. Now, Lily, the team's come together. Did you think you were going to get this gold medal?
Oh, well, I knew we had a pretty good team and pretty good chance, but at the end of the day, you just had to try and put it together. And anything could happen, but we brought it today, so that's pretty good.
I tell you, one of the best things, like you guys knew all the rules. The poor New South Wales team on the final leg, they made the mistake of not cutting in. Obviously, it didn't distract you. You ran straight through, but great job by all of you girls and team management too. You did really well.
Thank you.
Yeah, good work to the girls. Sophie White, I remember watching her hurdles. That was an absolutely ridiculous running the hurdles. And I'm pretty sure she went sub 12 today.
Talented athlete there. And as you see, the results from the women's 4x200 metres, the under-16s. WA taking it out in 1:40.62. Victoria with a silver medal in 1:41.34. And rounding out the podium, New South Wales, who had the lead going to the last change in 1:41.93. And there we see the results for the men's 4x200 metres out for the under-16s. New South Wales taking that one in 1:30.74. Victoria with a silver medal in 1:31.92. And rounding out the podium is the Queensland team in 1:32.06. As Glenn gives a little clap to the Queensland team.
Now we're just getting some updates from the just finished men's ambulant shot put as we see our Malaysian athlete coming in for an attempt. The bar at 2:24. Oh, just giving it a bit of a tickle with the calves. But looked like Cameron Crombie with a 14.92, his best for the evening. Marty Jackson, a 13.15. And Daniel Kirk, we saw him earlier in the discus, getting a 12.99. So we'll have to wait and see how those percentages go. As the bar in the high jump gets to 2:24, it's getting into the business end. Unfortunately, Nick Boych, he's just exited the competition, missing 2:21. And that looks like our other Malaysian athlete, Lee Hupway. But this is Matsuyama in the triple jump. She was second behind Talia Clark with a 13.20, only 6 centimetres behind the lead from the last time we saw. But Lee Hupway just taking it down. But it's only first attempts in this men's open high jump at 2:24.
Up on the runway there, as you can see, Talia Clark from New South Wales. Fresh off her stint over at Altus, where she's been doing some training. Seems to be paying off. She's had some big PBs. So we'll see how she fares on the runway in this round. Looks like we're up to round 4 in the competition currently. Ooh, close miss there at 2:24. The official puts a red flag up to indicate the missed jump.
Yeah, like we said before, probably don't need the red flag that often when the bar actually falls off.
No, I don't think so.
I think we could probably tell ourselves, but you know, there are other times where the hand might break the plane under the bar. If you do that, it would be counted as a red flag. So once the clock starts, you can run around there as much as you want, as long as you don't break the plane. But as we can see down the back straight, the women's 100-metre semi-finals are starting to get through their last stages of their warm-up. We'll say goodbye to Glenn Turner.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Good luck with the call.
Thank you for joining us.
Good to have you here.
And here it is, second attempts at 2:24. You see Supercoach Gary Bourne just on the fence there above in the white hat. Got his hands in a lot of different jumping pies. Getting the crowd behind him. He's a 2:29 jumper. Went to Rio. Oh, just clipping it with the bum. Noraj Singh Randwana. And we are joined now by Queensland 200-metre specialist, Thomas Gamble. Tom, welcome to the live stream.
Yeah, thanks very much for having me. It's a great afternoon for sprinting, some would say, and night. By the looks of it, they've turned the hundreds around. I've only just got up here, so you might have already touched on that. But turned the hundreds around, so
hadn't
hopefully it's
noticed.
Good. Yeah. I think that's the back straight down there by the looks of it.
Yeah, you don't say that often?
No, not at all. I normally
Are we qualified to make that assumption?
Yes, I think so.
I think so. Yep. IAAF rules say that is the back straight. Just looking that up now.
But hopefully that wind is still going the right direction. Actually, as I see, they've done a little testy, and it's 0.06.
Ladies and gentlemen, this week
And it looks like we've got probably the favourite for the final going away in the first of our semis. There'll be 3 semis. It'll be top 2 plus the next 2 best times. And Toya Whistle in the centre of the track. Probably next favourite, Abby Tadeo.
Yeah, you'd probably say that. Being a hurdler, she's quick off the mark. So she's usually, sometimes a lot of the time, she's leading the races and the other athletes having to come over the top of her. So it'll be interesting if she can hold on. But I don't know if that's going to be the case in this one, because Toya is another one that is an incredibly fast starter.
And as we've seen, her 200 really improved this season, getting really close to that World Champs qualifier of 23.10. So she'll be competing in the double this weekend as we switch our cameras to the back straight. So, Tom, just concentrating yourself this year on the 200 metres?
Yeah, that's it. I mean, you'd always love to do the blue ribbon event, the 100, but yeah, I made a couple of decisions just to do the 200. Oh, there I am on the screen. It's always nice to see your number.
Sprinter.
Yeah.
There you go.
Specialist.
Maybe we should get them to put expert sprinter in front of it.
Maybe.
Expert specialist.
Yeah, but I think Toya's definitely the favourite in this race. She's been in fantastic form. Had a great season last year as well. Went to Rio.
Based out of the Gold Coast, the Papua New Guinea athlete.
Yep.
Just before we get into this race, before they start, now I've seen another athlete. Now you were probably one of the originators for the zinc over the nose. Now I've seen another athlete, Daniel Moen, 400 metre runner, doing the same thing. So has he copied you?
Oh, I'd love to say he has, and I think he has. So,
there we go. There we go. You heard it here first from the originator himself.
He actually did have the zinc on Thursday night when it was torrential downpour. He had the zinc on.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's great to see. That's, you got to be sun smart in all conditions. The Australian summer. Hashtag Summer of Aths if you want to get on the live stream. You got to be prepared for all conditions. Really, these UVs out here, you're never safe.
Never safe.
UVs from the lights?
Yeah.
Oh, of
LEDs,
course.
they're probably that's where you get most of the damage, actually. Don't worry about the sun, it's all about the lights.
So the athletes just behind their blocks as we have a awards presentation just in front of us now. That's Jasmine Fountas in the women's open triple jump. And it's only a +0.1 for her, so the wind does tend to settle down in the evenings here in Sydney Olympic Park Athletics Centre.
Yeah, it surprisingly swirls a little bit though. You can see down, if we look over the back, the flags are definitely blowing favourably for these 100 metres.
That's Nuraj Singh Rendwana. 2:24, last attempt for the Malaysian athlete. It looks like behind him, Bruno having a chat
Rizzo.
to masseuse extraordinaire. Oh, plenty of height there.
Yeah. Just flicking it with his calves on the way down.
Just need to chop up those calves.
Yeah.
Back over to the pole vault. Unfortunate, just a miss there. It looks like Lauren Hyde Cooling from WA. The athletes spending a fair bit of time behind the blocks. They still haven't been called out to their starts yet. They're just getting announced by the ground announcer. But again, first 2 plus the next 2 best times will find themselves in the final later on this evening to close the program.
Now, with this one, Tom, are these girls going out there just to qualify? Are they just looking to get through to the final? Are they out here to make use of the possibly ideal conditions? If you have a tail, do you just go for it in the semi?
I think in the semi-final, it's, the heats are the time where you want to sort of ease back a little bit. But the semi-final, you really got to get hard, go out hard. And got a clearance here in the high jump.
Lee Hoopway.
It's fantastic to see. The athletes going over 2:24, but we can see the athletes going to their blocks now. But yeah, it'd be great to see the girls run quick with this, use this wind and really open up and prepare themselves for the final.
So keep an eye on the favourites of this first semi-final of 3. Toya Whistle in lane 6, Abby Tadeo in lane 5. Whistle away very fast in the centre of the field in all blue. Tadeo trying to stay with her. And these athletes pulling away from the rest of the field. Toya Whistle way too strong. And she's running through the line. Tadeo take it in. 11.56, the unofficial winning time to win, plus 0.4.
Comfortably by Toya there. Like you said, she got out strong and just pulled away and pulled away. Abby Tadeo's done well to get second there, held with her for about 40, and then Toya was just way too strong. Looked very comfortable.
And Morgan Gaffney there from Tasmania, probably just holding on for that third position.
She doesn't move when Toya runs, does she? The body is just absolutely dead still, and you just see these arms moving past. The torso, it's just straight up and down.
Phenomenal strength, yeah.
No wasted energy. And Tamsin's down there with the winner of their first semi-final, Toya Whistle.
Toya, that was a bit better than last night. The conditions, were you happy to be running down the back straight?
It's good to run with the win, and thank for them to put it that way. So really appreciate that.
Now you've got a really short period of time between this semi-final and the final. What will you do in that time?
Trying to get a qualified time aboard. There's a big goal. And
so you'll be focusing on that. That's what you're after for this final.
Yes. So hopefully get that aboard, then we'll be happy.
Okay, go rest up. Good luck for the final, Toya. Thanks.
Yeah, definitely that's the target for everyone. Try and get that World Champs qualifier. Talia Clark on the runway now in the triple jump. She was leading last time we checked. It's like a bit of a little buckle there. No injury. Just not getting the jump right. Mel Breen and Brittany Burkett, probably the next two favourites to come up in semi-final two. We'll be keeping an eye on the athletes who are just on the edge. Those two fastest non-Olympic qualifiers as Marlon Vic Gregor. Marucci Swan on the pole vault now.
Great to see the Swans out there in full flight. Hope she gets over this one.
It's called cherry picking, I've found.
Is that right?
Yep, cherry picking when you get up the bar and just sort of hang there.
Bit like balking in the high jump.
A little bit, yeah.
There you go. I cherry picked on my first ever pole vault.
How high was it? Was it 3 metres 80?
No, that doesn't matter. I was picking low hanging cherries.
Just low ones. Just
low ones.
The low branches.
No one wants the low cherries. The right ones are at the top.
But I came down and nearly landed in the box. I only just missed it. I just hit the
Should have held
on. Yeah, I know. That was my issue.
You didn't pick enough cherries.
I spoke to the pole vault coach. He said I didn't hold on to the pole long enough. You've got to hold on to it. I released too early. That was kind of my issue. I don't know.
Free falling.
I don't know.
It's not a catapult.
If I'd held on to it, it would have carried me further into the mat. But instead, I just let go. As soon as I knew it was over, I just let go, and then next I'm landing just off the box.
Yeah, it's tricky, the old pushback as well. Yeah. You've got to flick it behind.
I went from strength to strength from that point onwards.
2.70 m. You've got me covered. Lee Hoopway, now first attempt at 2.28. World Championship qualifier. Actually, not sure what the World Championship qualifier is for Malaysia. I know for us it is 2.30 m. And a good clearance at 2.24. Oh, he's definitely got a 2.28 in the legs.
He does. He jumped well when he was down in Canberra. So hopefully he can get over in the next round. And there's your results from the first heat, or first semi-final of the women's open 100 metres. Toya Whistle taking that one out in 11.54. Second, Abby Tadeo with 11.87. And rounding out the top three is Morgan Gaffney from Tasmania in 11.99. Just dipping under that 12. So I think Toya will be happy enough with that one, moving into the final. So she'll go back and get ready. And here we go. There's your start list for the second of three semi-finals here tonight. Lane 2, Tavleen Singh from New South Wales. Lane 3, Kyla King from New South Wales. Lane 4, Lucy Sheet from New Zealand. Lane 5, Brittany Burkett from Victoria. Lane 6, Melissa Breen from the ACT. Lane 7, Kendra Hubbard from the Victoria. Lane 8, Abby Goldie from New Zealand. And rounding out the field in Lane 9, Hannah Basic from Victoria. That is your lineup for the second semi-final for this Women Open 100 metres. As we see the athletes getting down into the blocks, they're in the starters' hands. And as we would expect Fast start there by Breen, but she's been pushed on the inside by Burkett. Burkett and Breen at the moment, but Breen starts to move away from Burkett. She's going to be too strong. She's going to run away with this one and take the win, followed by Burkett. 11.69 unofficial. So obviously not lightning fast. The win
1.1
is a 1.1. I'm assuming that's a plus. It's a bit blurry from here, but we'll give it a plus. So plus 1.1. So at least we got the tailwinds out there.
As predicted as well, Mel Breen sort of gets to the front and relaxes up a little bit and pulls through the line, looks comfortable as well. Brittany Burkett for second. She's had a good season, had the opportunity to run first leg in the women's 4x1 down in Canberra about 3 weeks ago. So it's great to see a young talent have an opportunity there.
And looks like we're going to throw down to Thames, and she's down there with Melissa Breen from the ACT.
I am here with Mel, and that was a fantastic race. We ran down the back straight. We had a tailwind. Happy?
Oh, yeah, I am. Had a little bit of a stumble at the start there, but no, it's great, and hopefully some of the girls can get some PBs out of tonight.
That's okay. It was only the semi-final. You did it really comfortably. Job done. On to the final. Goal for the final?
Yeah, that would be great. See, to having a great battle with Toya. She's had me all season, so hopefully, fingers crossed in the final, I can turn it around.
Well, we would love to see that because obviously we are rooting for the Aussie girl. We'd love to see you take the win tonight, Mel. Good luck.
Thanks very much.
Yeah, it's going to be a good battle between those two athletes, both in blue. We see it. Last attempt there for Lee Hookway. Fortunately bowing out of the competition, but he will finish first in our men's open high jump.
I do like that. I do like that when the athletes come out here and they take a bow. We saw a couple of Japanese athletes earlier in the triple jump the other night, and after they finish their jump, they exit the pit, they do a polite bow and go back off to the benches.
Thanking our officials for all their hard work in the pit. It looks like Lucy Sheet with 11.98 has moved herself into the bubble now. So it's Gaffney 99 and Lucy Sheet 98, the two non-automatic qualifiers, the fastest athletes at the moment. We've still got one more semi-final to get through. As we check out the pole, it looks like Jamie Scroop, former South Australian, now based in New South Wales, attempting 4 metres for the first time.
A couple of my ex-housemates out here competing. Obviously, we had Laura Story last night. Jamie Scroop tonight.
He used to live with a Scroop.
Yeah, she spent a bit of time in Western Australia. And
as most pole vaulters probably do at one point or another.
They do. We had an apartment where that we shared. It was a good bit of fun.
So I guess the question is, why aren't you out there, Benny?
Because I'm old and broken.
Oh, well, these are your housemates, mate. You should be out there as well, flying the colours proudly.
This is true. Maybe I can get a late entry. Can I remove my scratching and just go straight into the final for the men's four?
I think you can. I think you have that power up here.
If Gamble says so, then it happens.
Yep.
Let's do this.
Then it is done.
Sign it off. It's pretty much done.
I'm happy to go lane 9. I've done it before. I'll do it again. Lane 9.
There is a spare.
There you go.
So these athletes just on their last attempts. Katie Miyasaka currently in second place with the 13.20. And after that, we'll see Talia Clark go for her last attempt.
From Tasmania, Kiara Chambers. In 3, New South Wales is Jasmine Everett. In 4, Northern Territory, Jessica Paris. In 5, Queensland, Jacinta Beecher. In 6, South Australia, Margaret Gahan. In 7, from New South Wales, Gabriella O'Grady. Lane 8, Japan, Sayaka Fujisawa. And lane 9, from the ACT, Sarah Blizzard.
Getting in their blocks now for the last of our semi-finals. Kiara Chambers, Jasmine Everett, Jess Paris, Jacinta Beecher, Margaret Gahan, Gabriella O'Grady, Sayaka Fujisawa and Sarah Blizzard. Very even away in the first few metres. Margaret Gahan from South Australia now finding her way into the lead. Jacinta Beecher trying to chase her down, and on her outside Gabriella O'Grady. But it's Margaret Gahan getting a big lead here, and looks like Jacinta Beecher taking that other second automatic qualifying position. 11.82, the unofficial winning time, a plus 1.6. And Margaret Gahan, it's good to see the athlete back and running. She said she did disappear for a little bit, a couple of injuries, but spent a bit of time in England after Glasgow.
Yeah, she did. So it is great to see her back out here. She was a former junior representative as well. So she's been around for a while, but having those couple of years off can affect these athletes significantly. So it's good to see her back out here and taking a win in that semi-final.
And that was the start list there for all that final of our semi-finals, women's 100 metres.
Jacinta Beecher there coming in second as well, training partner of Trey Williams, who we will be seeing up next in his men's semis, which I'm definitely excited for.
As we see Talia Clark just getting her last attempt in, but looks like Tamsin is down there with the winner of our third semi-final.
Hey, I'm here with the winner of the third semi-final, Margaret Gahan. Wow, it's really good to have you back on the track. You must be really enjoying being back.
Yeah, definitely. It's awesome to be back. I just love coming out here again and having this kind of atmosphere with just the competition and everything. Like, it's so different to an interclub on the weekend, and I love it.
I'm tipping it is pretty different to South Australian Interclub. You've won a medal before in an open 100 metres. Yeah. Do you think we could possibly see you sneak onto that podium later tonight?
Oh, look, I don't know. It's always a possibility, but I try not to think about it too much because, nerves and stuff, you can get tight. So just try and relax and enjoy it is my main thing. So trying not to think about it.
We got the right attitude. We're loving having you back on the track. Go rest up. Good luck for the final.
Thanks.
Yeah, some very good running there from the South Australian Margaret Gahan. And she's definitely put herself into medal contention. It looks like from our results, Jess Peris with 11.96 should sneak into the final as one of the fastest non-automatic qualifying runners. And Lucy Sheet as well with 11.98 from the second semi-final. Jamie Scroop again out on the runway. Just losing the grip of the pole. I'm sure she actually just threw it away on purpose.
You'd hope so. It's not wet out here.
No. I have heard of a few interesting things they use. I know lighter fluid, is something that they use on the pole to help the grip.
Wow.
Yep.
Big thing for the WA athletes.
Yeah, they do enjoy a little bit of lighter fluid, only in this situation, obviously. It's not like they enjoy lighter fluid in other situations.
No, it's strictly professional.
I'm not saying they're arsonists.
Just for pole vault purposes.
To be honest, is it sticky? I did not know if it was sticky.
Yeah, honestly, you try and shake someone's hand after doing that and you just get all this stuff all over your hand. It's disgusting.
Would the stuff be lighter fluid?
Would it be lighter fluid?
Yes.
I don't know. Ask them.
Well, that's what I heard.
I don't know whether the lighter fluid is the black stuff because you see their hand and it's gone all black and sticky. So
yeah, I'm not sure how it's a thing, but apparently lighter fluid is perfect for pole vaulters.
Now, I'm just going to put it out there. When I did pole vault, I didn't have lighter fluid. I didn't have any sticky stuff. This is the reason why I didn't go 3 metres. Wait, is that Tamsin out there? Is she making a comeback?
Tamsin, you got to stay in your lane, Tamsin.
Tamsin, you got to be on the blue stuff.
The blue stuff.
That's
Step
where you got to be.
To the left.
Kick. Bring it home.
No stuff anymore, guys. I'm a bit puffed.
It's right. Dip, though. When you get close to the line, just dip. But yeah, that's the reason why I didn't go 3 metres. I'm just putting it out there, guys.
Okay.
Lynchy, I reckon it's probably the reason you didn't go 3 metres.
It's probably because it wasn't good enough.
Nah.
No.
Nah.
It's probably because my splitties that I wore were like parachutes. They were holding me back.
Have some belief in your talent. Have some belief.
I wouldn't say pole vault was my talent.
Depends.
Maybe I just didn't.
Depends who you're comparing yourself to. If you're comparing yourself to
Steve Hooker,
then yeah, you're talentless.
Actually, I have done a session with Steve Hooker with pole vault.
Really?
Yeah. So back in the early 2000s, when I first started my pole vault career, he was only a junior then.
There you go. There you go. Now, I've had a session when I was a little young junior athlete. I had a session with Matt Shervington. For me, that was a massive deal. I got to go do some starts as a 17-year-old with Matt Shervington. Now, Tom, has there been an athlete when you were younger that you had the ability to go and do a session with that you sort of looked up to a little bit?
Yeah, when I was about 18, just before World Juniors, funnily enough, Patrick Johnson was living the street across the road from me.
Oh.
And I pulled up next to him and...
Just knocked on his door and said, PJ,
grab
your spikes.
make me run sub 10. And he was just like, all right, come with me. And the next week I went to a session with him, and, you know, being 18 and sort of experiencing the full-time athlete life, I guess, and going out to lunch with him and chatting and picking his brain, it was actually unbelievable. And
good vibes.
Yeah,
and
great
I was just
vibes.
going to say that part of the routine when you warm up that take you through, were you eating blueberries and just sort of feeling the vibe? Because honestly, that's one of the things I love about PJ.
It was definitely all about the vibes.
Oh, all about the vibes.
He loves the vibes.
A shout out to PJ. If you're watching us, we love your vibes. But we're just going to throw down to Tamsin. She's down there with our discus throwers.
Guys, they're just giving it to me because I'm a bit puffed from running the 200 metres to catch up to them. I think they've actually got me covered in the sprints these days. Julian, come back. Well done. You took the title.
Yeah, that's right. I'm really happy. I don't know what happened. I just woke up on the right side of the bed today. I've not been feeling as good in a long time, so it's, yeah.
So pretty happy with the distance?
Yeah, that's the furthest I've thrown in like 2 years or so. I was battling with an illness for last year mostly, and the year before, and it's only recently I've gotten healthy again, and I feel pretty good, so yeah.
So then what are the goals from here? Are you going to aim to make that World Champs team to try and get that qualified?
Probably not. Probably for this year I'm still just getting the fine-tuning in my diet and everything, really trying to get my health back. And once I get my health back, I think maybe next year I'll give a run for Commonwealth Games. But for now, just throw for fun, enjoy the rest of the season.
Okay, and when you get your health back, you make the Commonwealth Games team, then do we start talking about Tokyo?
Yeah, we'll start talking about it then, but we'll see how next year goes, okay? So, yeah.
Awesome. And Matt, you remembered your tops today. Do you think your singlets were the way to go, or would you prefer the T-shirt?
I don't know, maybe stick with the T-shirt, was the PB shirt, but yeah, that was a little bit disappointing just because I didn't have the distance there, but it was good to see Rucky back finally getting his distance, and it was great to be battling with him again because it's been a while since we've done that. So yeah, every time that he was always throwing well, I was still younger and throwing less, and now we're sort of even playing field, which is great and great fun. So.
Well, it's great for us to have you both back, and obviously you can definitely get those qualifiers, and it'll be fun to have 3 men's discus throwers back out there again. Courtney, you got the bronze medal. You finished 6th. A few internationals. Happy with your bronze?
Yeah, very happy with it. Yeah, it's good to be out there with these boys and just trying to get up to their level. A bit out of their league at the moment, but hopefully I can catch up to them soon.
Well, they're good. They're good role models to have. You're lucky to have them. So well done, guys, and big futures. World champs for some, hopefully, and Commonwealth Games.
Thank you very much.
Straight into the action here. Trey Williams, blistering start against Nick Andrews again, but he's now pulling away from the field. Nick Andrews trying to chase him down, but it's going to be Trey Williams switching it off there, 10:41. And
he's looking very sharp, Trey.
Looked like a plus 0.1 there. Andrews, same heat, and then same semi.
There you go. You probably didn't see our bit of our footage before when we started this live stream. I've got my money on Trey. I reckon if he can get to 60 in front with a little bit of a gap, he might be hard to catch.
Yeah, I totally agree. He's one of those athletes that is capable of running 10:20s, which he's already done this year in Canberra. And it is that it's a mental barrier to get over. If an athlete's 2 metres in front of you at 30 metres, you start panicking, and it's really hard to run your own race. So we've just seen there Trey literally pull up, and that's a 10:39. So he's looking sharp, and I saw him over at the warm-up track, and he's switched on, and he'll go back and relax for about an hour, and he'll come out firing.
He's been getting those starts the last few. If he gets it right, it's dominating. I do remember one year for yourself, Tom, 2013. You thought, all right, I'm just going to get it here, probably take it easy out of the blocks. This was the first year that Trey was really stepping it up, and you just couldn't catch him.
Yeah, he spanked me. I'm not going to lie. He put about 4 metres on me in 10 metres, and I thought, wow, okay, this guy's serious. And he got me by 0.01 in that race, and he's come along leaps and bounds, Trey, and it's great to see. You know, Nick Andrews as well there in second, another junior athlete. Got Rowan Browning in the next heat, I think, or next semi-final, I should say. 3 juniors. Jack Hale, that mix, unfortunately not here this meet, but the juniors are really showing us how to sprint at the moment, and great to see.
Great to see it is, and looks like Tamsin's got some of our medalists from the men's Ambulant shot put.
Yes, I've got Cameron, Martin and Russell. Am I right? Russell. Okay, so Cameron, you won. Happy with the distance that you threw the shot put? Am I allowed to say throw? Put?
Yeah, look, pretty happy. I mean, just trying to put things together and be a bit more consistent, but, happy. Got the medal, and, yeah, PBs are good.
PBs PBs and Australian records are pretty darn good. I think you should be happy. I think you need to start talking about what meal you're going to be aiming for, like, for tonight after that. Chocolate?
Oh, no, I'll be having a beer first, I reckon. I think we've won it. So.
I think you've earned it as well. Were you happy?
Oh, look, I'm pretty stoked. Another B qualifier, a little bit off PB distance, but look, just being out in the circle with such a champion of the sport, with Russell Short, just privileged being out here. So,
do you know what? What number nationals is this for you?
I don't remember. 8 was the first one, I think.
88. That's some serious longevity. Are you still enjoying it just as much as you did in the first one?
I think that's the main reason I'm here. Yeah, I still love it. I love the athletes. I love the people around that track and field. It's just, it hurts. We're good.
Well, you're an absolute legend of the event, and we love having you out here still. Next year?
Probably, yeah. As I said, I love it. So, yeah, be back.
And the guys are insisting that you have to be. So, well done. Our 3 podium getters in the Paris shot put.
Yeah, well done to those boys out there. There's your results. Troy Williams, 10.39. Nick Andrews, 10.47 at the moment. Suranjaya De Silva, 10.67. And Michael Hansford, 10.69. Will be on the bubble. But here's your start list for the next race. Mariah Nazemi Lee, Nick Bate, Nathan Riale, Aaron Breslin, Alexander Hartman, Rowan Browning, Zach Holdsworth and Connor Diffie. I'm going to call this one the semi-final of death.
Very tough semi, this one.
Hard to pick who's going to win between Breslin, Hartman and Browning. Breslin does come home strong, so does Hartman, but Browning has a start to him.
Holdsworth to that mix as well.
Exactly. He's been running some PBs this year. Fast start there from Rowan Browning. Hartman missing it by a mile, but Browning's got himself into the lead, and he's actually starting to pull away from the field. Breslin might be coming home late, and they're going to be your first two. So have a look at each other. Breslin and Browning, the two Bs, they will be the automatic qualifiers, 10.67 and 10.69. Hartman just absolutely missing it.
Absolutely missed the start. We saw that in Canberra as well, down the Grand Prix. Clark, and he completely missed the start, so you can just see he just tightened up there and didn't bring it back, and it looks like Breslin's taking the win over Browning.
Yeah, it's going to be very close. Looks like Hartman may have just snuck in. Breslin 10.46, Browning 10.48. We'll wait to see what Holdsworth and Hartman run.
This is going to be interesting going through to the final, because obviously we only got the 2 fastest non-qualifiers in this one. So, Hartman's making it tough. There we go, 10.58 for Hartman, so obviously we'll make note of that. But we're going to throw down to Tamsin. She's down trackside.
I am here with the winner, Aaron Breslin. Fantastic effort, take the win in semi-final number 2. Rowan got off to a great start. How did you stay relaxed?
I just knew that the top end was going to come over the top of all of them. Rowan's got a really good start. He's been posting about how good his start's been. So I just get confidence knowing I'm going to come over the top, and I think they all are aware now that I'm going to come over the top.
Well, I got to tell you, I think we really need to start the hashtag Summer of Breslin. That was a fantastic effort. Rest up and good luck with the final.
Thanks very much.
Yeah, the Summer of Breslin. It might be upon us.
Could be. Fastest man in the West. Shooting from the hip tonight.
There you go. So this is going to be, these qualifications through this final is going to be very, very interesting. Obviously, as we said, only 2 spots for the non-automatics. And as at the moment, obviously it's Hartman and Holdsworth currently in those 2 positions at 58 and 59 respectively. So we've still got one more semi-final to come.
Hartman, the reigning national champion.
How's that? Imagine if the reigning national champion did make it through to the final. I think he's in a good position. 10.58, still a solid time out here this evening. The winds aren't strong. They're dropping off more and more. So that was only a plus 0.5 in that last one. And there you go. There's the results from the semi-final 2. Aaron Breslin taking it out in 10.46. Rowan Browning second in 10.48. And then third and fourth, Alexander Hartman and Zach Holdsworth in 10.58 and 10.59. So we'll make note of those 2 times. And then we'll have to compare them to third and fourth in this next semi-final.
I still think Hartman, he's a good chance if he just doesn't miss the start like that.
I wouldn't want to be racing him in the final, that's for sure. He's going to be very disappointed with that semi-final. He's going to come out guns blazing.
We did see him storm off. You might have seen him in the background there storming off the track, spikes in hand. So He'll probably have something to say about it in that final, if he can get through.
Let's just say he gets it out before tomorrow, because I don't want to be racing him angry in the 200.
There you go. But the other thing is, and that shows, obviously this was a semi-final, and obviously he hopefully he should scrape through as a non-automatic, but you can't do that in a final, especially when you've got an athlete like Trey Williams in the field.
Oh, exactly right. Come final, he'll have a lot to assess, and that's what I said before earlier. The semi-final, it's really your warm-up for a final. You've got to get everything right and make sure you're running well, and you get your start right, and then you come out in the final ready to go.
As you can see on the screen here, the reigning bronze medalist from 2016 Rio Olympics, Eliza McCartney, coming into the bar, 4 metres 30 on her first attempt. Only turning 21 this year, actually still 20, birthdays at the end of the year in December. And getting over, just probably clearing it by a metre. There's your start list for the next race. The last of our finals, Brendan Harvinick, Jordan Render, Naomi Masafumi, Simon Gregg, Joseph Miller, Tomoya Barber, Jordan Shelley and Benjamin Haywood. And I think we did speak to Joseph Miller up here in the box last night, and I think it'd be too classy for this field. Good start there from the Japanese athlete Barber, but here comes Joseph Miller. He's into his running. Simon Gregg on his outside. Jordan Shelley closing very fast as well, but it's going to be Miller switching it off. All class, 10:41. That was easy as you like. 0.6, and Simon Gregg's probably made himself. He's got to the final as well.
We'll have to see. It was he got a bit of a slow start as well. Probably doesn't look as great, Miller, and the Japanese athlete either side of him getting good starts. But you look at Miller here; he's about 60 out. And looking very comfortable for 10.4. We can see, unfortunately, Benny Haywood, a fellow Marucci Swan, looking like he's torn his hammy down the back. You never like seeing that as a sprinter. But
no, you don't want to see it. It is a bit of a cool night, but 10.49 for Gregg, 10.39. And it looks like Tams is down there with the cruisy winner of that semi, Joseph Miller.
Tell you what, it was a cruisy win, boys. You got a great start. Drive phase looked really strong, and then you were able to switch off halfway down.
Yeah, got quite a good start compared with yesterday. Just knew I needed to have a little bit more at the start, just to practice for the final, but still trying to save a lot of in for what's to come.
Well, there was definitely no stumble tonight. It was a fantastic first 40 metres. In the final, we're going to see you go the whole way through the line?
Of course, yeah, we're going to try to see what we can do. Still after that A qualifier, so yeah, leaving nothing behind.
So the A standard's the same as it is for the Australian?
10.12.
It's pretty quick, isn't it? But you've gotten pretty close this season. Do you think conditions are okay? I mean, it's probably a little bit cooler, but you got the tailwinds down the back straight. Do you think you're in with a chance?
Yeah, well, I haven't had a tailwind while I've been running quick yet, so I have a little bit of help from that. I reckon, why not, eh?
And you're from New Zealand, so this is pretty hot.
Yeah, it's still pretty hot, yeah.
Awesome. Rest up. Good luck for the final.
Thank you.
Oh, I don't know about still being pretty hot. We've got jumpers, long sleeves up
but
here.
He is from Waikato. He's there in his Waikato club singlet.
Bay of Plenty.
There you go.
But there's the official results there, 10.39. But check out third and fourth.
Wow.
I'm going to have to say it. Alex Hartman won't be in the final.
Wow.
Unbelievable that. He is going to be very disappointed.
But that's what happens in the 100 metres. It's one of those things, if you miss that start, it's so hard to come back, and you can't really make up for it at any point in the race like you can, say, at 400 metres.
Exactly right. It's really a race of inches, and you really set your race up in that first 20, and if you're behind, you're working, you're overstriding, you're tightening up for the rest of the 80, and unfortunately that's, it happens to the best of us. Hartman's the reigning 100-metre champion, and he's missed out.
You know what's happening? You're racing him in the 200 tomorrow.
You said you want to race him angry.
There you go.
Oh, I don't know.
You're going to have your hands full tomorrow, I think.
I'll be angry as well. I'll do something to myself out here and fire myself
Maybe
up.
stub your toe on the way out back to your hotel room.
Hit my head on the door or something.
Well, with that, we'll say goodbye to Tom Gamble. Maybe we'll have a chat to you tomorrow afternoon. Maybe with something around your neck.
Oh, we'll have to see. Got to get through the heat first.
Bit of bling.
And we'll have to race that angry Hartman. We'll see what happens.
All right. Well, thank you, Tom Gamble.
Thanks for having me.
No worries.
Simon Gregg, ahead of two Japanese athletes, Masafumi and Tomoya Barber.
Well, it is sad to see the reigning national champion unfortunately missing out.
The javelin, Elsie Lee Roberts of the ACT. Outstanding first throw then from the Canberra-based athlete. World Championships qualifier, 61 metres 40.
Now just getting their final warm-up throws underway. The women's shot put. Maddie Bergfield, Siva Tafiti, Diama Taganesia, Laura Stokes, Stephanie Skagala, Yesenica Denathautau, Jessica Aldridge, Sarah Thorpe, Brianna Bordelanza, Chelsea Lenarduzzi, Julia Burke, Grace Robinson, and Alifatu Jibril.
Victory ceremony and medal presentation in the women's open triple jump.
That's Siva Tafiti, only 17 years old, getting amongst the open weight there, the 4 kilo shot put. Normally throws a 3 as an under 18 athlete. And there's your start list now for the women's open javelin throw. Tori Peters from New Zealand, Kelsey Lee Roberts, Risa Miyashita, Karen Clark, Stephanie Rathel, Tori West, Lauren Overton, Catherine Brooks, Tiana List, and Alexandra Roberts. Some good athletes out there. But it looks like Kelsey Lee Roberts, just previously, we are hearing that she did throw the World Championships qualifier on her first throw. Got it out of the way, 61.20, almost to the centimetre. And that's some great throwing there. Looks like Karen Clark there just getting her first throw out off the belt.
We'd also like to acknowledge the performance of Katie Miyasaka of Japan in the bronze medal.
A big clearance there in the pole vault. That's Olivia McTaggart from New Zealand. Only 17 years old. PB of 440. And she wouldn't be too far away from getting that.
Now here is your start list for the men's 100 metres final. Baba of Japan, Masafumi of Japan, Williams Queensland, Miller New Zealand, Breslin West Australia, Andrews New South Wales, Browning New South Wales, and Brigg of Queensland. That's the contestants for the men's 100 metre final on not too long.
It's a nice night here, isn't it?
It is beautiful. It's hot for a New Zealander.
Yeah.
But I don't feel super hot as a Queenslander. But it looks like Tamsin Lewis has got the winner of your first semi-final, Trey Williams.
I do. Sorry, guys. I actually couldn't catch him. He was way too fast, even in the warm down. Happy with that?
Yeah, no, very happy. Happy with the performance. I just did what I had to. Went out for 40, held on for the rest, and it was good.
And you've drawn lane 4 in the final. Obviously, it's 100 metres. You probably don't really mind about the lanes, but concentrating will be, for you, awesome start again.
Yeah, obviously the plan is just to get out, get a good start like usual, and then just try and hold on, not let those big boys catch me with their long strides.
I love it. The guys have said they reckon you'll be in the front to 60. It's just whether you can hold on. I reckon you can.
Yeah, hopefully. So I've been concentrating at training the last 40 of my back end of the race, so hopefully I can hold on and win the title.
Well, we won't keep you out here. Go rest up. Good luck for the final. I do. I'm here with Scott as well, who took out the gold medal in the para 100 metres just earlier this evening. Were you pleased with how you ran that performance?
Yeah, it's always an interesting time of year. I'm fortunate enough that I've done everything I need to qualify before we're even here, so I kind of just have to rock up and show my face. But we're in a pretty heavy training load, and we're obviously focusing on World Champs in London in July. So it was nice to get out here and race again. It's always fun to get out and blow the cobwebs out. And I ran pretty terribly in the heat and picked up a few things for the final and ran pretty decent for this time of year. So pretty happy.
Well, the Paralympic qualifiers to be in that first named lot, it's pretty tough. I think you have to have won a gold medal, haven't you, from either Rio Paralympics or the Doha World Championships. You obviously ticked that box. Rio, great experience?
Yeah, it was to train for something for 7 years and then to execute a race when it matters. Yeah, we get one opportunity every 4 years to be able to do that, and to execute it and walk away with that gold medal is something that I'll hold very, very close to my heart for the rest of my life.
And talk to us about the staggered races at Nitro. Was that a bit of fun?
It was a huge amount of fun, actually. It's nice to actually cross the line together. It's something that we don't do a lot of. And at Paralympics, I got out first and I didn't see anyone in the race at all, which is a nice place to be in. But, yeah, in these type of races where we have mixed classifications, yeah, Evan ran 11:29 tonight to win and I ran 12:44, so you're 10 metres up the track. So, yeah, Nitro was a good experience because you knew that they were coming, but you don't know how fast they're going to be there, and on the line, everything happens, which is really exciting for the crowd as well.
Well, tonight, great effort through hard training. We're looking forward to watching you at the London World Champs later in the year.
Yeah, cheers, thanks. Hopefully we can go back to back to back.
Hopefully.
There you go. Thanks for that, Tamsin. It's always good to hear from two of our top athletes in Trey Williams and Scott Reardon. There's your start list for the men's under 14, 1500 metres. Brock Waugh from Queensland, Charlie Jefferson, New South Wales, Bailey Habler from New South Wales, Ethan Grills, Victoria, Thomas Diamond, Victoria, Hamish Hart, New South Wales, Kane McDermott from Victoria, Rory Wiley from New South Wales, Matthias Forbes Schultz from Queensland, Kane Harrison, Victoria, Theo Christian, New South Wales, Bailey Morrell, Victoria, Finn Puma from Queensland, Rafi Gordon, New South Wales, Dylan Bailey, Western Australia, Jonathan Harris, South Australia, and Alexander Kwa from Victoria, I believe.
And Luke Sin. That was one that was just faded off the screen.
Just missed him, yep. As we see them go around at the 2.5 minute mark.
Hamish Hart out the front, tucked in behind him, Ethan Grills. And it looks like the number 13, Bailey Morrell, and the number 2, Charlie Jefferson at the front. So it's Hart, Grills, Morrell, and Jefferson.
Then Habler. Habler is just closed the gap. There's a little bit of a gap from those first four, but he's closed it up there with the Queensland athlete, Matthias Forbes Schultz. So those are your top 6. But as we said before, obviously we've got to reiterate this. Kelsey Lee Roberts, qualifier, World Champs qualifier. Bang on, 61.40, exactly what the qualifier is.
I will apologise, I think I said 61.20 before, so we got a bit nervous up here, but yeah, right on the tape.
That's all you need. You don't need 61.41, you just need 61.40, and she's done it.
No, you don't need any more than that. As they get the bell, a big lead. It looks like Ethan Grills really turning on the pace. And he's moved to the lead with 2:50 to go, and it's Bailey Morrell chasing him down, and Habler. So it's Ethan Grills there with a big lead. He's having a look around. He may have gone early. Well, hopefully he's got something left in the tank. It's a big move from the back here from the number 6, Hamish. That's Hamish Hart and Habler.
There you go. Habler closed the gap before. See if he can close this gap here. They're starting to come at the Victorian athlete there.
It's a big lead there for Grills, and it's Habler and Hart in these last few strides, fighting out for those minor medals. It's a silver and a bronze at stake, but Grills way too strong. And it looks like, whoa, I can't call that.
Yeah, we'll have to wait for photo finish on that one. It's amazing, after 1,500 metres, you haven't finished that close.
We'll have to wait and see. It's going to take those photo finish judges quite a while, I think, to separate those two. But it looks like 4:23.99 for the winner there, Ethan Grills. Let's have a look at that replay. Grills with a big lead, but Habler and Hart can't separate him. Just in those last few strides, he made a little surge.
Oh.
It's lucky we have a camera inside and outside. But Tamsin there with the winner of that race, Ethan Grills.
I got to tell you, I'm pretty stoked, guys, to be here with Ethan because I've watched him race at the state championships. Even was lucky enough to present his gold medal for that. So what a race. You got to the bell and just took off.
Yeah, that was my plan from the start, just to blow them away in the last couple laps.
You looked really comfortable. It looks like you could do another few laps.
Oh, I'm not sure about that. Feeling pretty tired.
Obviously, you run 800s as well, but 1500s more your pet event.
Yeah, it is, definitely.
You looked really stoked. I love the celebration when you crossed the line. Were you concerned at 200 metres to go that you'd gone a little bit earlier? Were you listening for those New South Wales guys who were chasing you?
Yeah, I was, but I'm lucky just to hold on there.
Oh, you held your form. You won it easily. It was a great race. Well done, Ethan.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, he's still got a bit of breath left in there, I think. I think he could go again.
Yeah, I reckon. Probably had another kick in him.
Yeah, so just a quick javelin update from out there on the track as we see one of our Japanese athletes get through her second round throw. We'll say 61.40 for Kelsey Lee Roberts. Tori Peters from New Zealand, 54.70. And Risa Miyashita, 52.77. So we've got a couple more 1500s to go. And joining us now in the box, youngster, took out the elimination mile on the first night of Nitro from Western Australia, now based in Victoria.
Yep.
Matt Ramsden, welcome to the live stream.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So, we just saw the under-14 boys roll around the track there. Did you start your career as an under-14 here at the Australian All Schools?
It started back in 2012, and I finished last in my 3K. Ran 9:56. Dead last by probably about 60 metres. That's where it all started.
I was going to say, sounds like you haven't forgot about it either. Every second.
He's holding it to heart.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, you're quite a tall athlete. Were you that tall then, or you just had to wait for yourself to grow?
I've always been fairly tall for my age, but I was all skin and bones and still am, basically. But, yeah, I have filled out a little bit since then.
So what is it that you put it down to that's, I guess, brought in your success from that point where you've come dead last to now one of the best in the country?
I just hated being a mediocre athlete, and just wanted to be respected by people like all around the country. So that's what drove me, and to make teams and represent my country. Since I was a youngster, I just wanted to represent Australia. So I was always working towards, I guess.
And you did get that opportunity last year for the under-20 World Champs over in Poland, and finishing sixth. Was it in the World Junior Final?
Yeah.
A bit argy-bargy in that final too.
Yeah, it was. I've copped a bit of slack for that, but in the heat last night, I tried to be as patient as possible and not really get involved in that sort of stuff. But still, in the first 100 metres, copped a couple of whacks myself. But yeah, I think I've grown up as an athlete since then, so hopefully I don't do that in the final.
Well, I feel like that still might happen as you get into those big international races over in Europe, so you might find a good bit of practice do you good when you get over there. But you can see on the list here, the start list for the next race on the track, the women's under-14, 1,500 metres, Imogen Stewart, Lacey Quigley, Amy Bunnage, Jessica Berg, Megan Dixon, Chloe Randall, Sailor Donnelly, Star Scott, Hayley Dean, Tiana Lang, and just flicking over to the other side there, Monique Goldsworthy, Maria Wanecki, Noelle Shitty, Bridget Morrissey, Kiera Moore, Matilda Strugnall, Stephanie Torley, Georgia Arcus, Molly Cook, and Sophie Grodzic. And Jessica Freight.
Yep.
21.
Big pack. Now, in this field, we've got Marie Wanecki. Now, you remember her from her 800-metre effort, where she came storming down the home straight from probably 20-25 metres back to get the win on the line in a dip.
Yeah, there's Wanecki there in the middle of the field. And Imogen Stewart, she actually won the 3K. She went up a couple of ages, and I think she won the under-16 or under-15 3K. So
there you go. Here they are, meeting in the middle. The 800 runner coming up, the 3K runner coming down. So this is going to be exciting, I reckon.
So, Matt, you did also qualify for the 5K over at the World Junior Championships. Do you see yourself being maybe eventually going up there, or right now you feel happy in the 1,500?
I think while I'm young, I've got a bit of speed in my legs, so I can keep going with the 1,500. But as I get older, I'll definitely move up to 5K. As I learned at the World Cross Country Trials, I just need a bit more strength. So until then, I'll be a 1,500 runner.
And being so young, why not just try I wouldn't say easier, but it's probably more of a blue ribbon event at the moment, the 1,500?
Yeah, I definitely feel like it gets more attention here in Australia, so I'm enjoying it.
It's going to be a pretty cracking final.
Now, please correct me if I'm wrong, but was there ever a point that you were a triathlete? Did triathlon...
No.
Was that it? No, there wasn't? There you go.
I can't
Completely
swim
wrong.
to save my life.
Can't
There you
swim.
go. So forget I even asked that.
Maybe more of a duathlon.
I have a feeling there was a distance runner. Because sometimes we do. We lose athletes to triathlon. It's one of those sports that obviously running's involved. So we have these athletes that get taken away. The other one is duathlon, where they ride a bike and run. They don't have to swim. So if you can't swim, you go to duathlon.
Yeah.
Apparently.
No, when I was a junior, like really young junior, the 3K was dominated by triathletes. A guy named Calvin Quirk, when I was like 14, ran, 8:50 or something like that. I ran a minute slower.
But where is he now and where are you now? That's all we need to know.
Exactly.
As you see this big field of 23 athletes, the girls under 14, 1500 metre final. And the South Australian shooting straight to the front, and that's Imogen Stewart with a number 1 on her hip. And she'll tuck in. Obviously no heats for these girls, so just giving them one big run. And 23 in a field. I don't think if we had 23 athletes in the men's open, I think there'd be a lot of elbows thrown.
Yeah, 57 of us all up on the start list, so I'm glad they split us into 4 heats.
And at least, obviously first 4, next 4 fastest, you guys went through only just the other night, but semi-finals, I'm sure that would have made a tough program if they did put semi-finals on.
Yeah, definitely. I think it would have favoured probably more of the MTC guys. So to make it more interesting, they cut out the semi-final, and I think that's going to make for a good final.
Hopefully make for a fast final. You probably don't, if you got some special tactics, you don't have to share them now, but obviously the gold is what you want to achieve.
Yeah, so it's my first Open Nationals. I'm not putting too much pressure on myself, but like always, I'll try and win. I'll put myself in the best possible position and push it to Grego.
Yeah, now, talk us through some tactics. Hopefully Grego's not listening right now, but when it comes down to it, I'm assuming it's probably going to come down to possibly the last 400 metres or 300 metres in a bit of a tussle and a sprint finish between you two and obviously a couple of other athletes. What's going to be your game plan going into that point? Are you going to maybe try and get the jump on him and go first?
With Grego, I've been given the tip at Nitro. I'll tell you what I did at Nitro. I'll change it tomorrow night, but I had to go from about 800 out, start putting the pressure on him, because if he's with you with 200 to go, it's game over. He's too strong for anyone in Australia. So all you have to do is run his legs off, and that's easier said than done because he's so fit. So all you have to do is push the pace every 100 metre, increase the pace from like at least 800 out. So yeah, it's harder.
So what sort of time do you think it's going to take to win that and obviously beat Ryan?
I'm not too sure what time he's run, like 3:30 or whatever it is, but it won't be run that fast. Maybe I reckon you'll need to be in 3:38 form at least to be near Gregson.
So there's only a few of you actually in the field that can then run that fast anyway. So it's definitely going to be a race just for a few athletes at the top if the pace is on. Obviously, if it's a slow race, then you've got people like Philo Saunders, who the oldest man in the field. But
18th Nationals, I think it was.
Yeah, but because his heat was so slow, he's got a great kick on him, and athletes like that can surprise you.
Yeah, you always got to look out for athletes like that. And he was in my heat, and I was on the back straight looking up at the screen and saw him on my tail, and I thought, oh, better get moving.
So if you maybe think, well, the tactics obviously will be fluid, they'll change as the race goes on, but if we push the pace, could get out to that. If we get near that 3:36 flat, we could see the winner almost booking himself straight away a ticket to London.
Yeah, that'd be great. That's ideal.
So what would be the goal, obviously, after these national championships? Heavy base of training again, or maybe head overseas?
I'll be in Melbourne for a week before heading over to Laguna, where I'll catch up with all the other MTC boys, and we'll probably get into a bit of base, and I'll have two races over there. Yeah, hopefully all goes well, and maybe get a qualifier if I'm lucky.
That'd be nice to get a qualifier. As we see in the under-14 girls, 200 metres left, and that's Imogen Stewart. She won the above age 3,000 metres earlier, and she's got a big, strong lead as she enters the bend for the final time, getting chased down by, look like, Chloe Randall from Queensland and fellow New South Wales athlete. But it's Imogen Stewart with a big lead, the 3,000 metre specialist, too strong for the rest of the field. And she's opening up this gap further and further apart. New South Wales athlete, looks like Lacey Quigley, just moving up into second place, but it's Imogen Stewart taking the gold medal. Lacey Quigley and Chloe Randall. And Winnecke there just in fourth place. And it looks like Tamsin is down there with your Australian national champion in the high jump. It looks like Joel Baden.
I am down here with Joel now. I had to go in and get them from underneath. I tried to get Nick Boyett, who was also second, but they got a bit camera shy, the high jumpers. Now, Joel, not wrapped with the height, but happy with the gold medal?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I guess my goal was trying to go to the qualifier or something like that, but I can't complain too much. Like, getting gold is always good, but still a little bit disappointed. So,
I mean, it's been a pretty tough campaign for the men's high jumpers. You came out in qualifying, and I don't think I've ever seen worse high jumping conditions. Have you jumped in anything worse than what you had to qualify in?
That was probably among the worst conditions I've ever competed in. Yeah, for sure. But I guess it was kind of good to know that, like, I mean, everyone's competing in the same conditions, so it kind of comes down to, I don't know, who can stay the most focused, and I know in a stupid kind of way, you just have to kind of embrace the chaos a bit.
Do you know what? That is a really good way to describe it, embracing the chaos, because it was completely chaotic on Thursday night. So you're not happy with the height. You'd love to be able to push for that qualifier for the World Champs. What will you do from here?
From here, I think the plan might be just to go back to training. I think not chase the qualifier for the World Champs, and maybe just get a good base, and just make Commonwealth Games the real goal. So.
Well, it's a home Commonwealth Games. You're still really young. You've got plenty of things to look forward to. Tokyo 2020 would be a long-term goal.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's 100% on the checklist. So.
Well, thanks for coming back out, Joel. You're a national champion. It's a great effort. It's something you'll remember for life, so well done.
Thank you.
Tori West there on the javelin runway. Townsville North Stars athlete. Getting on that just near the 45-metre mark. Interesting there from Joel Baden saying maybe after winning the national title probably won't chase the World Champs qualifier and go back into a heavy base.
I don't actually have an issue with that, because it's one of those things where if you spend too much time trying to chase that World Champs qualifier, it may end up affecting you for Com Games. And obviously a lot of these athletes out here, home Com Games, and it's something that they don't want to miss out on. So I actually don't blame Joel Baden for taking that approach at all.
So Matt, 1,500 5K, are you just going to focus on the 15 this season?
Yeah, definitely. Nick, my coach, has sat me down and said for the next 2 years at least you'll be just doing 1500s and maybe the odd 5K here and there, but focusing on 15s, yeah.
And there's the results there for the women's under 14 1500 metre. Imogen Stewart 4:38.06, Lacey Quigley 4:40.69, Chloe Randall 4:42.69, and that's your top three. And that is our curtain raiser to the next event on the track, the women's open 1500 metres. Now, we will be missing Jenny Blundell, the Rio Olympics semi-finalist out of this race. So here's the full start list. Holly Campbell, Whitney Sharp, Zoe Buckman, Lyndon Hall, Karina van der Klooster, Chichiro Sanaga, Heidi C, Kayla DeBont. We won't be seeing Jenny Blundell. There's Madeline Murray, and on the other side, Morty Scoring and Elise Gallen. So there'll be 11 in this field. Now, Matt, you train a little bit with some of these athletes. Who do you fancy to take it out?
I think Heidi C, she's been in great form, won national 5K champs, so I think she is our girl to win this.
And it looks like Tamsin might be down there, the winner of the last 1500 metres.
I'm here with Imogen, who just won the 1500 metres. Now, we've got to be really quick because the Open Women's 1500 is coming up, and Imogen just tells me she knows a few of the girls, so we're going to be watching it together. That was a great race.
Thank you.
Were you always going to kick so strongly from 300 to go? Was that your plan? Because you're obviously so strong at the 3,000 metres, you wanted to make sure there was no kick from those sprinters behind you?
Yeah, that was my plan here from the start.
And were you happy with the time?
No, well, it was good considering the race, but it's not my PB.
That's okay. A win's a win. Now, for this Open 1500, who do you think's going to win it?
I don't know.
You're going to go for the one that you know, Heidi?
Well, I know them all, but I don't know who I'm going to go for.
You know what? I like that you're sitting on the fence because it's a really tough race to pick. So let's sit here and watch it, and this will be you in the future, Imogen. Well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, it is. I'll be honest, it is a tough race to call.
Yeah, it is. Definitely is. Now, I'm going to ask you, Matty, dark horse. Give us a bit of a dark horse in this one. Who could probably sneak up on some of the favourites here?
I think Heidi is the dark horse, but because of the form she's been in, just from how I saw her training at Falls Creek and her recent results, I think she's really going to push it to Lyndon Hall, who's our race favourite, or maybe Zoe Buckman. I think she's in great form, so I'll be rooting for her.
Yeah, well, she obviously is not as quick as, say, Lyndon Hall or Zoe Buckman over just based on PBs, but two-time national champion. She hasn't been beaten in the last 2 years over this championship, and when it comes to that kind of racing, she just must have that kind of turn of speed to catch these other girls unaware.
And that's the thing, as you see now, the pace isn't hot. Obviously, the field's bunched up. They're three wide at the front, so this is probably actually playing into Heidi C's favouritism here. I reckon she's going to be a good one. If the pace stays like that, as we've seen, she's a great championship runner. She has a great kick, so she's definitely one to watch, as you said, Matty.
Yeah, and also reigning national 5K champion. She won the 5K down.
She did.
At the Summer of Ask Grand Prix. They're going through only 55, 56 seconds for that first 300, so not lightning fast. That's Holly Campbell out in front at the moment.
And there's
Zoe
Lyndon Hall
Buckman
at the back.
Yeah,
she is hanging out at the back. So that shows you how slow the pace is. Lyndon's just quite comfortable sitting there at the back. Now, Matty, Lyndon, Zoe, those girls that may not have the kick of Heidi, what are they going to have to do here to change this race in order to suit themselves?
From at least 600 out, one of them is going to have to make a hard move to burn the legs of Heidi. So I'm not sure if Lyndon's just waiting, biding her time to do that or what, but that's what I would do if I was in this race.
Yeah, so not only, obviously they probably won't get that 407.50 in this race. It's just probably too slow now unless they just kick from here. But taking that national title, that just gives you a little bit of a sigh of relief where you don't have to go for that qualifier straight away. You get that front spot no matter what.
Yeah, so I was in a similar boat last year. I know it was juniors, but I had the 5K on the first night and then won that and moved on to my 1500, and there was no pressure on me whatsoever. And I just controlled that race, and right now I would say Heidi's controlling that race.
Yeah, she's definitely in that right position. She's got a bit of an escape plan out of there. As we say that, it looks like Lyndon Hall now moving up on the outside and probably going to go through in about 2 minutes 30 for this 800, maybe even a little bit slower. So not huge. Someone's going to have to make a move, and it'll be interesting to see, we'll say out of the big three of Buckman, C and Hall, who makes the first move.
Yeah, and as May said, if Lyndon and Zoe are going to do this, they're going to have to go from 600 out. So it's just great to have such a quality field here in this women's 1500. It's an event that's been going from strength to strength. Obviously, from the days where we had Sarah Jamieson, Australian record holder, it's sort of dropped off a little bit, but now it's having this resurgent coming through with all these athletes out there. And it's a situation where you can have more than 3 qualifying for world champs in this event. So this race right now is vital for selection for the 1500 metres.
And here we go, 500 metres to go, and they're all turned on at the same time. Probably not enough room for all three of them there. But Lyndon Hall almost out there in lane 3, and she's having a go with 450 metres to go. Buckman on her inside and Heidi C. And it's going to be a sprint from a long way out. Heidi C. moving into second place, but Lyndon Hall's got the lead as they come around with 350 metres to go.
Heidi's in a good spot there.
She's done this before. She's been close. Normally it was Melissa Duncan out in front, but she's a bit injured at the moment. We've got Lyndon Hall really striding away, and these three now pulling away. It looks like the medals might have been sorted already.
Yeah, but you can't count out Zoe Buckman. Obviously, we've seen her on the world's biggest stage do some amazing things and make finals here. So she's sitting there back in third, but you just wait for her to pounce. I reckon she's in with a good shot here. But as Maddie said, Heidi C is in a great position here. She's gone around the bend, just sitting on Linda's shoulder. It's going to be interesting to see how Linda responds to that.
Yeah, here we go. Hall entering the home straight with the lead. Buckman moves wide as well. Let's see Hall and Buckman. Buckman trying to come around the outside. It's Lyndon Hall on the inside. Heidi C's found herself in the lead. She's striding away. Buckman trying to chase her down, but Heidi C, she's done it again. 3 in a row for Heidi C. 4:24.01. She is your national 1500 metre champion. And Matt, you said the race was going to play into her hands like that, and it did.
Yeah, well, when you have no pressure on you at all, you can run the race however you want, and that's exactly what she did, and it was perfect.
So she's got pole position now for the 5K and the 1500 metres, and just too strong. These last few strides here, let everyone else do the work and come over the top at the end.
So with this, Matty, have Lyndon and Zoe really run to Heidi's race plan? Have they shifted? I don't know what their race plan was going into it, but from viewing this, it seems like they've been shifted into Heidi's race plan, and she's come out the victor in this.
That's what it looks like to me. I wouldn't know what their individual race plans were, but that suited Heidi perfectly, that race. So, yeah, I guess they fell straight into Heidi's trap.
And it worked for her. 3-peat for Heidi C. And Tams is down there with the top 3.
I am, and I thought I'd grab all 3 because these ladies are such class acts. It was a hard race to watch because, you know what, someone's got to win and someone's got to lose. Heidi, 3 in a row. You just know how to win your national championship.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this one. My first national championship was special, and last year Olympic year was special, but this one was definitely the most fun, and yeah, I've just been so relaxed and really happy about this one.
And the goal for you has to be to stay injury free and go get that time and make the world champs team. It'll be your second world champ.
Yeah, that'll be the goal this year. So the most important thing for me is just try and enjoy myself and look after myself, and then, yeah, I think that breakthrough race will come.
One thing's for sure, you definitely deserve to make that team after the tough year last year. Great race. Zoe, you hugged that rail like you always do, and you came out and you had the speed, you were finishing strongly. How do you?
It's all about position, and I have to hand it Heidi. She's a good tactical runner. She moved with the pace when it went, and I tried to go. I was just a little bit boxed in there, and when it's a slow race, it comes down to those minute details, and that's what makes the difference.
Well, you've taken on a big program. You were the only one who took the 800 on as well. So are the legs tired, or you're right to come out?
Suited me being slow because I've got tomorrow to bounce back for, have another crack.
Well, you're a big chance for the 800 too. Do you think that maybe you can take that one out?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Okay, well done, Zoe. Great effort. Now, Lyndon, it's heartbreaking speaking to you right now because obviously you are a fantastic athlete. You're a 4.0 runner. You're pushing for that Australian record. The race perhaps just didn't suit you. It was a bit too slow. We know that you're a 4.01 runner. You love it fast from the gun. And you were really brave. 500 out, you took that lead. You did what you had to do. I'm hoping you're not too disappointed, but I'm guessing you are.
Yeah, hard not to be disappointed. Sort of felt like I went in with a little bit of a target on my back this year. It was really different to last year. But, I tried something a bit different by, not going to the front because I kind of thought that's what everyone would expect. So, I didn't quite pull it off. But, it's great to practice racing like this. We don't get many shots to do it in Australia. So, definitely leaves you a little bit hungry.
I know you will be disappointed, but let's remember that you are a 4.01 runner. You are great in those European races on the Diamond League circuit. You nearly made the Rio Olympic Games final. You've got a lot more this year, and there's bigger fish to fry. You'll go over there and you'll run fantastically, I'm sure.
Yeah, cheers, thanks.
Yeah, thanks to those 3 athletes there. Classy ladies going 1, 2 and 3. And there's your official results. 4:23.99 for C. Buckman 4:24.33 and Hall 4:24.53. Now, Matt, we'll let you go. You've got a big race to run tomorrow. You're going to try and take the gold. Maybe Tamsin will have a chat to you later with maybe a gold around the neck.
Yeah, hopefully.
And that'll be a nice little scalp to get to. Gregson's scalp.
Yeah, I'm after that one.
There we go. I'm sure a lot of people are after it as well. I'm sure they've been hunting it for years. Thanks for Matt Ramsden for joining us up in the live stream. Still got plenty more to come here. Big night. We've got some 400s to go.
Thanks for having me, guys. Have a good one.
No worries.
The yellow vest is a screener. They've left the ACT. Following him through now, shadowing him is Luke Bailey from New South Wales. And then a gap to Gregory Love from New South Wales. So these two at the front are pushing very hard and they've gone through in under 1 minute. Under 1 minute for the first 400 metres.
Thank you. See you.
So here it is. This is the race currently on now. The men's 1500 metre wheelchair. Gregory Luff, Jake Lappin and Luke Bailey. We saw Lappin and Bailey in the 100 metres earlier. And that's Lappin out in front currently with Bailey tucked in just behind him. Working off each other around this race. And while these guys are going around, do have some field event updates. In the javelin, it was Kelsey Lee Roberts, 61.40, right on that qualifying mark. Some great throwing there. Tori Peters currently in second with 56.50. Third place, Catherine Brooks, 53.50. And in our next Australian athlete, looks like Tori West, 46.55. So it's Lappin and Bailey out in front. Lappin still with the lead and the very, very fancy moustache. We'll see what these athletes can push around. Big fields are in the 100. Only 3 athletes in this. Luff, you might have seen if you've been keeping a keen eye on the stream, as I'm sure all of you have been doing. Luff has been pushing around in these junior races all week. Very talented athlete, T34 athlete. Coming around to the bell with 1 lap to go. That's Lappin in the green and gold and Luke Bailey in the white. The final lap. Now, Tamsin, what's happening down at that triple jump?
Yeah, guys, we've just at the end of round 2, we've just watched Emmanuel Fakio jump. I don't have his distance yet, but winning is Ryoma Yamamoto from Japan. He's got 15.96, but right behind with 16.61, and then in second is 16.13 Alwyn Jones. So probably what we expect at the top of the leaderboard at the end of round 2, but Emmanuel's just jumped 15.63, so improves on his first round jump.
Nice work there, but that's a huge, huge push there in the later stages from Lappin. Going over 3.38. And Bailey will cross in second place, 3.43. Luff just on his last push. He's had a big, big program. Not easy for the athlete to back up like this. We'll see what he can get around in. Still plenty more action to come here on the live stream. After this race, we've got the women's 1500 metre wheelchair, the men's and women's 400 metre opens, the men's 800 metre opens, and then the 100 finals to close out the show. Now, if you're watching at home or watching somewhere else, Summer of Aths, that's the hashtag you need to use, Summer of Aths. We'll see the pole vaults getting packed away. We'll hopefully get a pole vault update. Unfortunate for Nina Kennedy, we heard earlier, having to remove herself just with a slight niggle. But I'm sure it's nothing too serious. As you see, Gregory Luff, Sutherland District's athlete, coming to the home straight for the final push across the line. And he should take over. Slipping under the 5-minute barrier there. Excellent work from the youngster. There's Alexandra Roberts. Young athlete from Queensland. Only 16 years of age. National record holder for the under-16 jav. Gold Coast Victory athlete there. She won the under-18 javelin at the national titles and she put herself in the box seat for the Commonwealth Youth Games by taking it out. This is Hiroshi Abe Japanese athlete came through with a seed jump of 15.21. Just not getting it right, unfortunately. Very taxing event, the triple jump. And got to get all three phases correct there if they want to get a huge jump. There's Tori West from North Queensland, Townsville North Stars. Getting a good one out there, just past that 45-metre barrier. Beautiful night, flags barely wavering over the back straight. And I'm pretty sure we will be running the 100-metre final on the back straight, so I hope to see the crowd in the stands move around to the back. I can see a few people getting an early seat out there. And this looks like Kohei Yamashita, also Japanese athlete. Came through with the C jump 15.37. Qualifying for the World Champs, 16.80. Very, very big jump if anyone can get out over the 16.80 metre mark.
Which is generally associated with the movement from the national, the international standards. In 2016 and 17, the female senior Ponegate Emerging Athlete Award goes to Lyndon Hall of Athletics, Essendon and Victoria. 2016, real breakthrough here.
Next race now, up on the track, the women's 1500 metre wheelchair. Madison Di Rosario from WA, Jemima Moore, ACT, Angie Ballard, New South Wales, and Christy Dawes, also from New South Wales.
Classic over in the US and eventually made her way to selection in the Rio Olympic Games, where she was a semi-finalist. We've seen outstanding performance of her the Nitro Athletics Series earlier this year as well.
Yeah, there's Di Rosario there, Jemima Moore, Angie Ballard. And Dawes on the outside.
Once again, please congratulate Lyndon Hall, the recipient of the Athletics International Steve Ponegate Emerging Athlete Award.
It's the women's 1500 metre wheelchair final. Here is your lineup from the inside. Representing Western Australia, Madison Di Rosario. From the ACT, Jemima.
There's your officials there, preparing for the start of this women's 1500 metre wheelchair race. They have been doing a fantastic job out here this week. We've had some long days, but definitely haven't had any complaints from the officials, so we do thank them from that. But they are in the starters' hands. And away it looks like Madison Di Rosario on the inside. She's going to have the better of the start. She's going to move to the front. And the other athletes will tuck in behind as they head into the bend for the first time. These athletes draft behind each other a lot in these wheelchair races. It does help them. So it looks like they sort of work together as they go around in these races. And as we saw down in Canberra for the Summer of Ask Grand Prix, Angie and Madison Di Rosario would work together with each other, switching between the 8 and the 1500 metres. Obviously, one better than the other at each event. So they would take the lead for each other and obviously do a little bit of work off the front to make it easier for the athletes behind. Just helps. Obviously, they're great friends on and off the track. So these athletes are all out there vying for these qualification marks to get themselves to the World Championships. As we see there, Madison Di Rosario, she's just jumping off the front. She'll shift her way back as the other athletes start to move on through. That's Angie Ballard, taking up the number one spot there as we head into the bend. Closely followed by Jemima Moore. And Dawes just on the back there. But Madison De Rosario, she's still out there in lane 2. She's happy just to sit there. She's not worried too much. But still Angie Ballard off the front. As they come through, still in a little bit of a pack. These athletes playing a bit of a tactical race here, it seems. Obviously, it's not always out there for qualifiers. This is a national championship, so they are playing for medals. So it looks like the usual qualification standard, the tactics are off the cards tonight. And these athletes are doing what they can, and it's every woman for herself out there. Because obviously all of these athletes want to be on top of the podium with the gold medal. They're bunching up a little bit as they come around. There's 600 metres to go. There we go. Kelsey on the runway. Launches one out there. She's already got a qualifier. That one's just short. There's that red mark. That's roughly around that 61.40, which she has thrown. So she does have herself a World Championships qualifier. So if she takes the win here, we'll see you, Kelsey, in London. So that'll be great to see. Now it's Madison De Rosario. She's back on the front now. Angie Ballard in lane 2 there, and Jemima Moore on the inside with Dawes just following behind. De Rosario, 400 metres to go, 350 now. She's still in the lead. Watch for Moore and Ballard to come through in this last 300 metres, but De Rosario's just starting to open up a bit of a gap there. She's got a couple of metres on Jemima Moore. And she's going to lead them through with 200 metres to go. It's opened up to about 3 metres now, maybe 4. She's looking good. Be interesting to see if Jemima Moore, Angie Ballard and Dawes, can challenge her. But it's all De Rosario as she comes into the straight. She's got 100 metres to go. She's looking good. She's powering through to the line. Looks like that gap is too much for the athletes behind her. And De Rosario is going to roll across the line here for the win. She'll take the gold for WA. Fantastic there. She followed Jemima Moore, Dawes and Ballard, taking out the minor placings. But De Rosario, she'll go home with the gold medal. She'll be happy with that one. Obviously, it's not fast out here, but she will be happy with the gold nonetheless. Now, we're going to throw it down to Tamsin. Looks like she's down there at the javelin. What have you got for us, Tamsin?
Tell you what, I love coming down to the throws. There's such good camaraderie between the athletes. Now, Kelsey Lee Roberts started off the competition with a huge 61.40, so she's in the lead, but she can't rest on her laurels because she's got Tori Peters of New Zealand throwing quite well. She just threw in the 5th round her best of the comp, 56 metres, 74. So she's got a bit of a buffer and she looks pretty good. She's pretty happy out here. So last round's coming up.
I can imagine, obviously, if you get a chance to have a chat to her again, obviously getting the throw out in the first round, surely that's just got to make your night. It's one of those things where you can then go into your next 5 throw, nice and relaxed, no issues, and almost enjoy it out there because you've got your qualifier and you're obviously hoping you also take the win as well. And with the win, doesn't matter about the international competitors, you are still the Australian champion. So Kelsey only needs to make sure she's not beaten by another Australian. But with 61.40, I don't think she's at any risk of that one because that is a massive throw. And we haven't had many javelin throwers in Australia's history to get over that sort of mark. So we do congratulate Kelsey Lee Roberts on an amazing effort. And we head back to the track and we're going to have our start list for the women's 400 metre open final. Now this is one to watch for sure. Starting out your field in lane 2, we've got Jess Stafford from New South Wales. Lane 3, Alexandra Bartholomew from New South Wales. Lane 4, Olivia Toro from New South Wales. Lane 5, Angeline Blackburn from ACT. Lane 6, Caitlin Jones from Queensland. Lane 7, Morgan Mitchell from Victoria. Lane 8, Lauren Wells from the ACT. And rounding out your field in Lane 9. The coveted Lane 9, Samantha Lind from Tasmania. Now, this is definitely one to watch. We've got, obviously, defending champion Morgan Mitchell.
Yep.
We've got 9-time 4 hurdles champion in Lauren Wells.
Who actually has already done the semi-final of the 400 hurdles today at 2 o'clock.
Jeez, there you go. We've got Olympic 4x4 finalist in Caitlin Jones. We've got former junior representative in Angeline Blackburn.
And Olivia Toro, same teams.
And Olivia Toro, same teams. Those lanes right there, not obviously counting out the others, but honestly, I think the business is going to be through those lanes. It'll be interesting to see how fast Toro goes out, because she's known for going hard and fast from the start and just seeing what she's got left. So I think that's almost a tactic you have to employ when you're racing Mitchell, because if Mitchell leads you into the straight, you're not coming over the top of Morgan.
She's strong.
It's not going to happen.
If anyone remembers the race in 2014, she actually entered the home straight well behind Sarge and Ruby, Caitlin Jones, formerly Caitlin Sargent, and stormed over the top. But now she's got the start to go with the beginning.
Yep. But I'm really interested to see how Lauren Wells goes here. Obviously, we don't see her that often in a 400-metre flat race, so she's usually around in the hurdles. She's run a 52.9 this season, so she's in form. So I reckon this is going to be an amazing race to watch. But we're going to quickly throw down to Tamsin. She's down there with our winner, Madison Di Rosario.
And I'm really excited to be down here with Madison. Obviously, she's a superstar of the Paralympic team. We've got 3 silvers now from the Paralympics, 2 from last year's Rio. Are we going to see you competing on to try and get that gold in Tokyo?
Definitely. There's big goals in Tokyo. I won gold at the World Championships in 2015, so in the 800, which was my best event in Rio also. So if I could get back up on top of the podium, that is absolutely the goal.
We love watching you do the 800 metres. You're a superstar of that event. So will that be the goal for this year's World Champs, to try and defend that title?
Definitely. My goal in the 800 is definitely my highest set goal. I would love to improve my performance across my other events, but the 800 is absolutely the goal.
And tonight, happy with the performance?
Definitely. This track is very difficult for us to push on. It's a soft track compared, so it's hard work. So I think going out hard, my coach told me to do it. I'm like, that's a big ask for this particular track, but I'm glad I did it. It was a good race.
Good job. Rest up. Well done. Looking forward to seeing you in London.
Thank you.
I love the visor. I love the visor that Madison's wearing there. I call that a do.
It's a do. I do watch a bit of NFL myself, and I don't mind the visors, the bit of a smoky visor, the reflection.
Yeah, I agree.
Can't see where you're looking.
I agree. Obviously, Richie Coldman didn't have the visor on before. I reckon we're going to have to get Richie to get into the visor.
Need a bit more visor action out here in the wheelchair events. But here we go. 52.10, the World Champ qualifier. Only Morgan Mitchell's done that, and she's gone 51.6. If she can win, which I don't doubt that, she'll be automatically qualified for the World Champs in London. Off and running again from the inside. Stafford, Bartholomew, Toro, Blackburn, Jones, Mitchell, Wells and Lind. Lind going very well on the outside, but that's Morgan Mitchell past the shoulder of Lauren Wells. She's taking it out very easily. She might be just concentrating on that 400 hurdles later on. Toro going out hard. She's past Angeline Blackburn, but so is Caitlin Jones. She's going out very quickly. Looking casual as well, but Morgan Mitchell, we know she can come home very strong. Olivia Toro comes into picture, and she actually might be a little bit in the lead now as they come around with 150 to go. It's Toro, Jones and Mitchell entering the home straight. We'll see who crosses that line first. It's tight between Mitchell and Toro, but Mitchell now really into a stride. Opening up, Olivia Toro in second place, but a long way in front. Morgan Mitchell, she's tearing away from the field. She's a class act. She's just got to take it out to go to London World Championships, and she will very fast, 52.08. And a fast finishing Lauren Wells may have just taken the bronze.
I reckon, obviously we're not directly on the line here, but she's come storming over and then dipped. May have taken it away from Caitlin Jones there, but obviously can't take it away from Morgan Mitchell, 52.08, unofficial. But look how far look how far she's back. She's coming storming home over this last 30, 40 metres. Caitlin starting to tighten up there. But as we see Morgan going across the line, Toro second, and she's done it. Lauren Wells.
I will apologise to Lauren Wells. Great tactic.
Great tactic. There you go.
52.08. I think the official winning time. 53.10 for Olivia Toro. It looks like 53.84 for Lauren Wells. They're your first three. And Morgan Mitchell, she's going to London.
She's going to London. And it's good to see. And we're going to throw down to Tamsin. She's down there with our winner and a couple of others.
I I do. I have Morgan Mitchell's on the ground just taking her Adidas shoes off, so I will just wait a second and talk to the other girls. Olivia Toro, welcome back to track and field, young lady.
It's been a long 7 years, that's for sure. It's good to be back. I've been training pretty hard the last few months, so it's really good to be coming back in good field of girls.
And a silver medal in a national championships in your comeback year. That's pretty exciting.
Yeah, it is. I mean, like, I've had a bit of a talk going the last few years, so it's good to be back. I've been in shape and good to be around.
Well, it's exciting having you back because you are so brave, so gutsy. You did exactly what you used to do as a junior. You went out really, really hard. And the relay team's going to benefit from that asset that you bring to the team.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see where this goes and looking forward to next year as well.
Well done. And Lauren, the 400 flat. You know what? The boys, Ben and Matt, were talking about you down the back straight. Maybe she's not really going to push this. She's looking a little bit like she's casually jogging. That finish.
Yeah, I surprised myself a little bit because I thought I'd gone out all right, and I knew having Morgan on my inside just not to freak out, and I knew the other girls would go out really hard as well, and Matt and I have been working on strengthening the second half of my hurdle race, so I kind of got to the top of the straight and I was like, well, you're here, you may as well have a go. I mean, the time is slow, but I wanted to come here and get a medal, and I'm so stoked that I could finish off and get third, but it's a part of my race that I'm not that strong at, so.
No, well, it's fantastic. Now we're going to let you rest up because you're going for your 10th national title, double figures in the 400 hurdles tomorrow. I'm pretty sure you can do it. Do you think you can?
I do think I can do it, and I'm actually so pumped for tomorrow. Like, running in the semis today, I was holding back so much because I knew I had tonight to run, and I just can't wait to unleash tomorrow and bring home 10.
Well, can't wait to see it. Good luck, Lauren. Morgan Mitchell, the star of the athletics team. You still look pretty nervous before that, even though we pretty much ticked you as the winner.
It's just my face. I'm always going to be nervous no matter the field, and I was quite conservative in that race. I just wanted to win. I've got the 200 tomorrow, so I thought just relax, get another qualifier if you can, and just try and execute, yeah.
Well, that's the quality of athlete that you are. You can be relaxed and still come away with your third national title. You've really worked on your speed, and it's exciting that you're going to be running the 200 metres tomorrow. Is that what you and your coach, Peter Fitzgerald, have been working on?
The speed? Yeah, for sure. Like, this is my first 6 months ever actually training for speed, like, with speed work, sorry. And, I mean, to knock half a second off my 200, I'm pretty happy, like I said before. Let's just see where we can keep going. Like, 6 months is nothing, hey.
Well, you've ticked all the boxes to get onto that World Championship team. 400 metres, you ran a fantastic heat in Rio Olympics. Semi-final, I know you're a little bit disappointed, but the way that you're running now, can we start talking about finals?
I don't like to get ahead of myself. Obviously, like, making a final would be amazing. I guess that is the goal of that, land healthy and get a PB.
All right, we're not going to keep you out here long. Ladies and gentlemen, Morgan Mitchell, the winner of the women's 400 metres.
And there it is, your official results. 52.08 for Morgan Mitchell. Got herself another World Champs qualifier. It was 52.10. She's got plenty of those. Olivia Toro, 53.10. Lauren Wells, 53.84. Lightning finish. I will never write Lauren Wells off again in a 400, no matter how far she goes out or slow she goes out.
No, shame on you. Shame on you. You keep doing it to the ACT.
All right.
What's going on
Here's
here?
your start list for the men's 400 metres. Tyler Gunn, Daniel Moen, Alex Beck, Luke Stevens, Jackson Collette, Azuma Kaiki and Jun Kimura. Very interesting race here. Tyler Gunn has done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think this might be his 7th 400 of the week. Heat semi-final of the under-20 boys 400 metres. A 4x4 for New South Wales. Heat semi and now final of the open men's 400 metres.
It's tough, isn't it? Honestly, to be a junior again, really.
I wish I was invincible.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you've got to commend the effort that he's put in. He's making an open national final here. After all that. So, what an effort by Tyler Gunn there. But, honestly, I think this race, it'll be the race in 3. Alex Beck, Luke Stevens, Stephen Solomon, and I reckon a roughie is Jackson Collette. Obviously, he was number 1 in the country for a good portion of the season, so he's definitely not one to discount here.
Yeah, there's a couple of athletes just on the cusp, Moen and Collette on that 47.0. Tonight might be the night. It's looking pretty still out there, and it does turn it on. I know my PB and your PB were saying here is at this track.
Exactly. So these conditions aren't actually bad. The wind's dropped off totally, so it's perfect for these 400-metre runners. Can Steve go 45.50? And they're away from the inside. Gunn, Moen, Beck, Stevens, Solomon, Collette, Kaki, and Kiramura. And as we see, Collette moves up onto the shoulder of the Japanese athlete. And Steve Solomon, Alex Beck. There's your three at the moment. As they move down the back straight, the staggers remain even. Here we come, Luke Stevens. So he's starting to move up on the shoulder of Steve Solomon. This is the point where Steve starts to respond. He puts his head down. He lifts the intensity. But also Alex Beck coming on the inside. He's fighting around this first bend. They're going to come into this straight fairly even. Possibly even Alex Beck in the lead by a foot. Alex Beck, Steve Solomon fighting out. Jackson Collette. But here comes Steve Solomon. It's still not all him. Alex Beck on the inside. Jackson Collette on the outside. Stephen Solomon in the middle. It's going to be a tight one. Stephen Solomon just gets it. 46.69 unofficial. Jackson Collette. What a race by Jackson Collette. Second. Takes the win, the place over Alex Beck. Alex in third. What a race. Honestly, I did not expect it to be that close at the line.
No, look at Jackson Collette. He might have he lost probably a few just trying to dip 10 metres out, but Luke Stevens, he set it up by going out hard and he couldn't finish. Yeah, I was watching him come down the straight. Obviously, we had to keep an eye on the first three, but he just started to drift back further and further and further. Obviously, he hasn't had the best of time after Nitro. Obviously, he had a fantastic time at Nitro, but since then, he's had a couple of injuries. Training hasn't been going great, so obviously he wasn't happy with the form that he came in here. He would have liked to have been a little bit better, but geez, wow. And that's what happens sometimes if you do go out a little hard. As we see Steve there, his customary position after a 400. He has an issue where sometimes he overheats a little bit. He loves to pour the water over his head, as we see there. I've spent many sessions with the watering can as he's lying down on the track, just watering him down, trying to cool him down, get his body temperature. But what a run, what a race. And there's your result. Stephen Solomon, 46.66. Jackson Collette goes 46 for the first time. Welcome to the 46 Club. Jackson Collette, 46.77. Alex Beck, 46.83 to round out your podium. Wow. Looks like we're going to go down to Tamsin. She's down there with Steve, who's still lying on the ground, pouring water over him.
Yeah, guys, this is going to be a pretty tough interview. Steve looks pretty tired down here, but I did tell you that there'd be three guys under 47 seconds. Steve, are you right to talk?
Sure.
It was a pretty tough race. You look like you went out there nice and relaxed and conservatively, and you really worked around that third 100.
Yeah, I think I executed quite well today. Wasn't feeling that amazing, but just smooth, and when Alec put the pressure on, just stayed calm, and I'm happy I was able to get the win.
Yeah, you haven't had a lot of racing under your belt yet, so race hardness in 3 rounds is pretty tough. So to come away with the national title, you didn't lead into the straight, it was pretty close. You held your form and you were able to hold those guys off. I think you should be pretty happy.
No, absolutely. I mean, this weekend was about the championship title, so hopefully now I'll regroup, find some good races in America and go for that standard.
Yeah, you know what? I think you were the most heartbreaking story of Rio Olympics for us as Australian athletics fans watching. You made the final in London as an 18-year-old, and you were the closest of margin to making that Rio team. And I know that if you were there, you would have pushed for the final again because you're such a great competitor. Got to chase the time again, but you're obviously going to go about it a different way to last time.
Yeah. We'll learn from last year's, and we'll make a move onwards.
Okay, I'm going to let you go because I know how painful 400s are. Amazing effort, Steve, and good luck getting that time.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, he looks absolutely spent. I think it was a bit of a blur. But if you want to see possibly Steve Solomon, you'll definitely see Morgan Mitchell over there. If you want to join the Aussie Aths Fan Supporters Tour. Now, the first Aussie Aths went to the Beijing Champs in 2015, and it was amazing. Experience one of the world's greatest cities while watching the world's greatest athletes. London 2017. Head to www.athletics.com.au/Aussie Aths Fans.
Now, I've got to say it again. Congratulations to Jackson Collette.
Oh,
he's joined the 46 Club.
Welcome
I remember
aboard.
The first time I joined it, I was pretty happy.
Yeah,
it's just good to see another 400 guy back down under that 47, getting to 46. Obviously, we want to see them getting closer to the 45s, but honestly, what an amazing effort there by Jackson. And to to be so close to an athlete like Steve Solomon, and obviously just pipping Alex Beck as well. So
And to put himself in that medal position, obviously running blind with those athletes on his inside and not being afraid to have a dig, and he certainly did and put himself in the position, and it paid off right at the end. Alex Beck as well, getting himself into that right area and frame of mind. You can see on the runway Titi Anang in this triple jump. Currently sitting on a 15.29. Now Tamsin's down there with the winner of our women's pole vault, Liz Parnov.
I am down here with the winner of the pole vault, Liz. Tough conditions. You obviously wanted the 455 World Championships, but you got the national title.
Yeah, I mean, I am a bit disappointed with the result. I think it was a hard one to back up after jumping a PB last week. That has been standing for quite some time, so I think it just drained me a bit, but I'm happy with the national title, and I'm looking forward to now working towards getting that qualifier.
Well, I think you're the story of perseverance. Obviously, last year was heartbreak. We'll just move to the side so they can do another presentation. Your story was heartbreak. You know, those photos and those images of you in absolute agony when you hurt your knee. You've come back pretty strongly to do a personal best, 451, a couple of weeks ago. Can I ask, why didn't you move the bar to 455?
Well, I did, but by that point I was just on cloud nine and I just couldn't keep it together. Like 51 has just been, like 50 has been standing for 5 years, and so once I did it I was just so happy and so relieved that I'd finally gotten past that barrier, and I wish I could have kept my cool, but I was just so excited.
No, because when you moved the bar, it was obviously because it was a barrier for you. You went to 451 rather than that World Championship standard. I saw that clearance. It was, you were over it.
I know, and it's there, and that's the thing. That's why I'm frustrated, because I know I'm ready, and the jumps tonight were really good technically, so I know it's there. I just have to go home, do some more work, and get over to Europe.
Well, the thing is, you've ticked the box, national champion. All you have to do now is clear. I mean, it's not all you have to do, but you know it's in there. You're in PB shape. We're all hoping that you do it, Liz. Good luck.
Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah, she's in the box seat now. 4:55 is all she needs to clear. But up now, the men's 800 metres from the inside. James Gurr, Lachlan Barber, Alexander Rowe, Joshua Ralph, Mason Cohen, Luke Matthews, Peter Boll and Lachlan Mann.
I'm looking forward to this one.
World Championship qualifier 1:45.90. Plenty of athletes in this field capable of it. I know Rowe, PB under that, Ralph, PB under that, Luke Matthews, PB under that, Peter Boll, exactly the same.
Yep, definitely. And this is the best 800 metre field we've had all season, so it's good to see them all come here, all make the final, and I think this is going to be definitely, possibly one of the races of the night. But obviously we've had some fantastic ones so far already, but I don't know, I have a feeling about this one. It's going to be something special. It's going to be a good championship race.
Now, I'm sure Ralph's got a bit of redemption. Last year in the final, he did fall.
He did.
Down the back straight and actually fell pretty heavily.
Yeah, he wasn't happy after that one. He felt like he was in good shape. He felt like he could have maybe taken the win in that one. So to go down at that point with 300 metres to go, it's heartbreaking.
And probably one of the unluckiest of those athletes qualifying for Rio, but with 4 athletes qualifying for Rio, he was unfortunately the unlucky one to miss out.
Which is why this national title is so important, especially if you're in an event group that may have more than 3 athletes qualifying. If that's the case, you need this title.
You do. And it's there. Mason Cohen always turns up. He grabbed a medal. He snagged a bronze last year behind Luke Matthews, but
he's going to have to run fast this year to try and get on the podium, because obviously on his outside, Luke Matthews, Peter Boll, class athletes.
And Boll, the only athlete this year, the only Australian to dip under that 147 barrier.
Probably the only Australian to false start in an 800 too, but we won't hold him to that one.
And Lockie Mann, probably the story of this 800 metres, getting that automatic qualifier, absolutely pumped. And I think it was his birthday.
What a birthday. Happy birthday.
What a present. And he's found himself in a very crack-hot field here at the national final.
One never to discount. I know he was only a qualifier through, a timed qualifier through, but James Gurr, he's been around for a very long time. He knows how to race these championships.
And he's got a 146 OPB.
Exactly. He's not one to discount at all. Don't sleep on James Gurr. Ooh. We don't like to hear that sound.
No, a second gun. Fingers crossed it was just unsteadiness.
Peter's Bowles' heart will be pounding right now.
No, I think you might have seen Luke Matthews just look over and bowl and go, wasn't you, mate, was it?
Green card, good.
Oh, green
Great
card.
to see the green card. We'll have a clap to that because that makes us happy. We do not want any of these athletes disqualified from this final. We want to see every single one of them run. It's not often you see a false start in the 800,
No.
so we definitely don't want to see it here in a national final.
Oh, heart is pumping.
Even my heart's going.
Off and racing again from the inside. Gurr, Barber, Rowe, Ralph, Cohen, Matthews, Bolt and Mann. It'll be interesting to see who cuts first and who's looking to take out the pace. Bolt, slow away, probably nervous about getting that false start, but he's going to cross in front of the field, and he's happy to take this pace. Here comes Ralph trying to get on the inside shoulder there of Matthews. And Lockie Mann tucking in there. But Bolt happy to take him through, going through the first 200 just a tick under 25 seconds. It's not bad.
Not bad. Obviously not super. Ooh, bit of argy-bargy there. Ralph and Luke Matthews getting tangled up a bit. There's Mason Cohen just behind him. Peter Bowles controlling this race currently. He's taken it from the front. Obviously there's no wind at all, so it's not like he has to battle a headwind at any point in this lap.
No, there we go. So it's Bolt out in front from Matthews, Cohen. Ralph got a great finish and plenty of speed. We know he can go 46 low in the 400. Row at the back. But it's Bolt taking the lap, 52.29, 145.90. That's the time they need to get to achieve this World Championships qualifier. And they're really starting to wind it up.
Yeah, definitely. I like the position Luke Matthews in. It's a little bit like Heidi C. It's a similar sort of look to it. Here he goes. There's 300 metres to go. In business, he starts to make his move now. As he does, he moves up to the shoulder of Peter Bowl. Starts to move past him. Here comes Ralph. Bowl needs to respond to him. Mason Cohen's still there. And look at our Australian record holder, Alex Rowe, coming from 5th.
There we go. So it's Luke Matthews, Bolt, Ralph, Mason Cohen and Alex Rowe. James Gurr still in the picture as well. Ralph coming around the corner. He won the national championship in 2014. We'll see who can hold this into the... There's a grimace on Luke Matthews' face. Entering the home straight, it's Matthews and Ralph. Mason Cohen chasing down, Rowe moving wide. Lachlan Barber down the outside on the yellow, but Josh Ralph has moved himself into the lead. He's going to stride away from this. Everyone's flashing home fast. Luke Matthews finding something extra on the inside. Luke Matthews! 146.74. Where did he find that?
I don't know. Halfway down the straight, I thought Ralph had it. But here comes back Luke Matthews. What a gutsy run. We saw the grimace on his face as he came into the straight. We were wondering if he still had something left for that final 100. Here, Ralph, it's going well, but he starts to tighten up. Luke Matthews comes through on the inside, dips.
Wow.
There you go.
That is outstanding. I don't think Luke knows what's happened. Still waiting for the officials here. This is a national title. It's very important.
You can't see it, but Luke Matthews has just done a dance. He's realised he's won. He's had his little celebration dance. Wow. It looks like we're going to quickly cut down to Tamsin. She's down there with the winner, Luke Matthews.
Well, Luke, I did ask you for a cool celebration. Were you happy with your celebration?
Ryan Gregson, I'm so sorry. I tried to do your 2012 celebration and I butchered it. But, look, I'm bloody happy. With 50 metres to go, I thought I was done. But, I don't know. There's been a lot of criticism with my group and especially my coach of late, so there's no chance I was going to lose today. So, another one for the bad guys.
Well, it's pretty hard to criticise him. He was coach of the year and he's got a great squad of athletes. You went to the front with 200 metres to go. Kind of were putting your name in the book for the win, and then Josh Ralph, he took you down that front straight. How did you find energy to get back at him?
Well, for one, I know that Josh would have had a lot of energy to redeem himself from last year. So, hats off to Josh. He was bloody incredible. And, last year I was able to win by 10 metres. But, if he had been there, I probably wouldn't have struggled. But the way that I fought back, I don't know, instinct. Grego did a thing the other day about alpha males and trying not to let people beat me. So that one was for Grego.
Okay, I tell you what's interesting. It's like we're watching Luke Matthews develop as an athlete. You came out last year, you trailed David Rudisha in Melbourne Grand Prix. We all thought you were going to take him for a little while there. You had that youthful confidence. And then you probably took a few hits overseas in Europe. You've got to learn your trade. And you went to the Olympics and you were disappointed. You've obviously bounced back from that exceptionally well, but you've come at this season completely differently.
Yeah, it was I think the thing with 2016, everything was new. So everything had an emotional attachment, everything was new, everything was novel. Now, I don't know, like the standard is up here, so if I don't win nationals, then I'll be disappointed. Whereas last year, if I came second, third, or made the final, that was probably it for me. So the standard's been raised and just had to get through this on not as fit as last year, and now hopefully get a few opportunities overseas and get that 8 and 15 time again.
Well, Luke, it takes great mental strength to do what you've done to come back from Rio and then take out the national championships in a quality field. Ladies and gentlemen, your 800-metre champion, Luke Matthews.
Seems like we definitely are seeing him grow up in front of our eyes.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And there's your results. Luke Matthews takes it out in a thrilling race, 1:46.71. Josh Ralph in second, 1:46.76. Alexander Rowe, the Australian record, gets on the podium, 1:47.29. As we see, Peter Bowl led it for most of the race.
Just didn't have the legs.
Didn't have it in the end. That's a bit unfortunate. But I told you, I felt something. I knew that was going to be a cracker. I had a feeling.
They're lucky that feeling was answered with that last second kick.
Yeah.
Last 20 metres?
It doesn't,
Even he called himself done.
It just has to be answered. Doesn't matter when it happens during the race. True. It just has to be answered.
It just has to be answered. But the 100 metres, 2 more events left out on the field and track. Triple jump still getting into its final stages in front of the stadium. But the crowd might be making its moves over to the back straight. A couple of those athletes are getting over there to get those beanbags early. Have probably made the right decision.
Yep, you want to get a nice prime viewing spot. If you can get yourself a beanbag or 2, head on out there. Make sure you settle yourself. Now, talking about positions on the track for major 100-metre events like this. Now, I remember I was at the stadium in Berlin in 2009 when Bolt broke the 100-metre world record, ran 9:58. I was trackside. I was front row at about the 80-metre mark, watching that happen. Still, to date, one of the most incredible things I've ever seen.
Well, I got to say, probably the best spot I've ever sat in. 100 metres to go on the 300-metre mark. Sydney 2000. Kathy Freeman.
Wow.
5 rows from the front.
Wow.
Right where she kicked.
Yep.
Beautiful.
Yep, you've matched me there. I'm just going to say it.
And I've got to say another thing. Anir Garcia, he won the 110 hurdles that Olympics. Tried to copy Michael Johnson by throwing his shoes into the crowd. Threw it, hit the flagpole, landed right in front of him. He's lucky he's a hurdler.
There you go. And we've seen some funny things at some of the major championships. Remember the mascot,
Melanie Walker.
Yeah, straight into the back of the hurdle trolley. Boom, off you go.
It's like he should already won.
Champion just falls down onto the ground. That's all right.
He was an excitable mascot, that guy.
He was. Yeah, I found that Berlin was a championship for celebration. I remember Robert Harting ripping his singlet in half in front of his home German crowd.
It's certainly his thing. But looks like we've got Tamsin down there for a triple jump update. She's just getting a few, you might see her behind the scoreboard there, just getting a few last-minute tweaks. But down the back straight, we are seeing some tailwinds down there. Yeah. So it might be, it's only a +4 or a +2, so it's minimal.
It's minimal.
But the triple jumpers have got a +0.8 at their backs.
So, okay, there you go. So, obviously, you would have thought there may be a little sheltered at the front here, but it doesn't seem to be the case. So, even at the back, they're still getting very slight winds. The flags aren't even moving. So, obviously, these wind machines, it doesn't take much to pick up a little bit of wind. So, that it's only a 0.2 as they last tested the wind gauge. But, wow.
That's Titi Anang, the older brother of Na Anang. Now, long jump, current best in Australia, 6:65. She jumped down in Canberra. And TT on the runway now for round 5 in the men's triple jump, just asking for a bit of crowd support. Oh, might be just getting, it's a bit of a deceptive angle there. Here we go to start this now for the women's 100 metres from the inside. Jessica Perez, our lone Northern Territory athlete. Lucy Sheep from New Zealand. Melissa Breen, ACT. Margaret Gaines, South Australia. Abby Tadeo, New South Wales. Toya Whistle, Queensland. Jacinta Beecher, Queensland. And Brittany Burkett, Victoria.
Looking forward to this one. As we said, this is the race that's been building all season. They've had a couple of runs against each other so far. They're fairly even in their heads-to-heads, so this is really going to be... It's going to make it easier for us. They're both in the same kit.
Yeah, not the lane next to each other is, so I don't know if that'll help or hinder. I think it might help Breen a little bit more.
I think so too. So sometimes when Toya gets such a good start out of the blocks, it can knock you around a bit. And I think having the 2-athlete gap in there is going to be a little bit of an advantage for Breen in her own race plan.
Yeah, it gets her focus on just worrying about running and not racing.
Yep.
In a 100 metres, you've got to do your own thing. You've got to run. You're in the lane. You can't do anything to anyone else outside that lane. A 1,500 metres, it's more of a race. You're in here, you're out there, you're right next to the athletes, but it's just a run. You've got to do what you can.
Yep. And the fact that Toya's got on her inside there, Abby Taddeo. So Abby's going to get a great start just like Toya. So Mel, when she comes out the box, it's not like she's going to see Toya jump out. She's going to have Abby there as well. So I think that's also a little, if we're talking about little advantages, maybe that's a little bit for Mel to help her out here. So, but honestly, this is going to be a race for sure. And obviously, you can't see it currently on the screen, but that crowd is building on the back straight. Everyone's over there. Everyone's wanting to see the finish of this 100-metre event.
Why not the national title running down the back straight? It's going to be very, very exciting. Now, obviously, if you're familiar with athletics in Australia, Toya Whistle represents Papua New Guinea. But there is a rule. If you do spend a minimum of 2 years with a club in a state, you are eligible, as it's not the Australian Citizenship Championships. It's the Australian Championships by representing a club.
Yep.
And being in part of a club, if she wins, she will be our national champion. You might see there's a New Zealander in there, just coming over as an invitational athlete. So if she wins, she will get a gold, but the first Australian will get a gold as well.
I don't know, Lynchy. Is that the case?
The New Zealander?
Oh, the New Zealander?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were still talking about Toya.
No.
Sorry, I apologise.
You got earphones on, you probably couldn't hear me.
I apologise. Yes, so if the New Zealander does take it out, the next Australian, or the first Australian, will get the gold also.
Correct. Clear that up. It's been a long, long week. Ooh, fast start there. It's definitely not going to be Lucy's sheet. She wasn't moving in her blocks. I can't see any worried faces there. They all seem pretty relaxed. Maybe not trying to sell the guilt.
Yeah, this is interesting. And this is, again, no matter what race it is, we never want to see an athlete disqualified. So let's hope we see the green card as we did in that 800 metres. But it's always interesting when it happens in these 100 metres, because sometimes you get these athletes a little unsteady in the blocks.
A bit hard to tell from that one.
Yeah, we definitely couldn't tell on that. And obviously we don't have the sensors on the pads, so this is down to the visual eye of the officials. But as we see there, the green card. So all clear on this one. Very happy about that. No athletes will be taken out of this 100-metre final for the women. All starters will front up and get into the blocks. But it does make for some tense and unsteady athletes in these blocks for this second go at it.
Bit going on here. Triple jump, getting some claps on the front straight, while the 100-metre final happening down on the back. And they're off and racing. It's very quick start there from Taddeo and Whistle. Breen up into a running and gain in the centre of the field. But it's Toya Whistle. She is tearing away from the field. Toya Whistle's going to take it out, win the race. Breen in second. 11.44, win plus 0.3. Margaret Gahan finishing in third place. But Toya Whistle is your Australian champion.
She is. An amazing start. As you can't see on this angle, but from where we are, we're pretty much in line where they started. Toya Whistle's start was incredible. 10, 20 metres out, she probably already had a metre and a half on the rest of the field, and she's just powered away from it there. It's hard to come back when an athlete gets that sort of start, and that's what we're talking about in the men's 100. If Trey can get away like that, it does make it difficult to chase them down because it puts the pressure on you. You're starting to panic at that point. You're like, I'm behind, and you realise that, and it is hard. It takes a classy athlete to have a massive, wise head on their shoulders in order to be able to relax and say, let's stick to my game plan, keep the form, keep the technique, and work on through. I'll peg them back. But, wow.
And good to see Margaret Gain getting back up there into those medal positions.
Exactly. It's been a while, so...
It looks like Tams is down there with your first and second place, Toya Whistle and Mel Breen.
Well, it's a strange situation because obviously Australian representative and a Papua New Guinean representative, but you take the Australian title still. Happy with the way that played out?
You know, Melissa, one of the greatest. We qualify for the Rio Olympics and we bought, and this is pretty good and well done. Congrats to you. And I'm happy to win a title today.
Great effort, Toya. Well done. Go and enjoy the celebrations. Mel, you've come at this season a different way. Your goal will still be London World Championships?
My goal is just running fast. And, hats off to Toya. She's had an awesome season. And she's been, taking me down each time. So hats off to her. But I'm still super proud to be the fastest Australian. And, yes, I know it's not the gold medal, but I'm wrapped. And it's all I've ever dreamed about as a kid. And I'm living my dream. And some days are good and some days are bad. But we move on and we train and we keep building something better. And that's what I've got to keep believing.
Okay, so you say that you want to run really fast times. Where to from here? I'm guessing you're going to say Japan.
Yeah, I'm going to hopefully head overseas. I'll do store gifts and up for chasing down some money again. That's, what we do at stores. So, and then I'll head off overseas. And the goal is to break that Australian record again and get as close as I can to a sub-11 second run. And that's all I want to do for the rest of my career. So I'll be chasing that down.
Well, Mel, that's what we like to hear. You're still so young. You're the Australian record holder, the fastest ever Australian female that we've ever seen in this country. So you can take your hats off to that. You didn't cross the line first, but you're the first Australian across the line. Go and celebrate. Well done.
Great. Thanks very much. Thanks for the support, guys. I really do appreciate it. And you guys are doing a fantastic job. So the live stream is just mint. So to Ben and Lynchy and Tamsin, you guys are doing awesome. My mum and dad didn't come yesterday, but they said how awesome you guys are doing. And the entire Australian population that loves track and field loves what you guys are doing. So everybody's so appreciative. So hats off to you. You guys have done awesome.
And this is why I love Mel Breen.
You're doing great, boys.
Yeah, exactly. That's why we love Mel Breen too.
We are doing great.
All good when people shower us with compliments. So if anyone wants to give us a compliment, get on the social media, hashtag Summer of Ass. Either do it on Twitter or get on the live stream comment section, Summer of Ass, and say how much you enjoy listening to Matt Lynch and Ben Offrains on the live stream.
We'll take gifts as well.
We do take gifts. We take PayPal, whatever you want to do.
I can get bank details out if they like.
But anyway, seriously, back to the track. Now, here we go. Start list for the men's open 100-metre final. Tomoya Baba from Japan. Naoki Masafumi from Japan. Trey Williams from Queensland. Joseph Miller from New Zealand. Aaron Breslin from WA. Nicholas Andrews from New South Wales. Rowan Browning from New South Wales. And Simon Gregg from Queensland. As we said, no Hartman. Didn't make it through. Missed the start. And he's not here. Our defending national champion is not here in this final.
He's made every final since 2014. He took a medal, I think it was a silver in 2015, one in 2016. Not there. And this is the best thing about this is exciting. This is a really young final. Nick Andrews, turning 20 this year. Rowan Browning, 20 this year. Trey Williams, 20 this year. Simon Gregg's actually the oldest Australian in the field. Turns 24 this year.
Don't say that. It makes me feel so old. Makes me feel so old that the oldest person in this field is 24. But it's amazing for Australian sprinting.
Yep.
The fact that we have so many young guys that are running so quick, it sets us up for the years to come, and we're going to have some great athletes in the future.
There's Ella Nelson there. Ella Nelson, 200. Sorry for the spam. I'm really excited. Tonight is fire. It is lit. It's lit.
It is. I've never used that word before, and I'm not going to use it
weird.
now. I'll let you use it.
No, I just used it. I used it twice. One for me and one for you.
I'm too old for a word like that. But no, it is on fire, so it's good to see. And there's no such thing as spam from you, Ella. we're happy to have you comment through to the social media anytime you want. If you want to get your name up there, like Ella, here we go. We've got another one from Courtney Brune, sending strong vibes. Sally Pearson, sorry I can't be there, but I'll be tuned in, tracking. Hashtag Summer of Vass. So it's good to see. Thank you for that, Courtney.
And that crowd down the back straight filling up here. We've had the conclusion of our triple jump, and it looks like Yamamoto from Japan, 1661, taking it out. But if anything's changed over those last two jumpers, I think we may have our Australian champion in Alwyn Jones.
Alwyn Jones.
1613 on his first attempt.
That's another guy. He's a guy that makes me feel okay because he's the same age as I am. And he's out here still going at it. We went to the same World Juniors together. We've been friends ever since. That guy can rock a band T-shirt. I think he has pretty much every single one that exists.
He likes to talk himself as an anti-athlete. He'll warm up in a headband, rock and roll T-shirt, sleeves cut off.
Yep. That's the thing. There isn't only one way to do it. You can do it any way you want.
Good to hear the short sprints on the back straights. Now to see some fast times. Huff with a couple of running men.
Exactly, and we're looking forward to seeing Huff on the track. That's something I'm looking forward to. He did a 13:59 in the rain, the pouring rain with a soaked track. So hopefully he can come here and do something. Kylie Broadbent, awesome coverage. Thank you. Excellent commentary, Tamsin.
Obviously, it's cutting off the edge with Matt and Ben at the end.
Obviously not enough characters.
No, yeah, I understand. It's Twitter.
Yeah. I know how that is. So that's fine.
So Alwyn Jones in that triple jump taking out the gold. Benjamin Cox, 15.95 on his fourth attempt to finish third overall, second Australian. But as they get in the blocks, the final of the men's 100 metres. Joseph Miller, a class athlete, but we're looking for the first Australian across the line to take that gold medal. Trey Williams again with his blistering start. He's got a huge lead. Joseph Miller trying to chase him down. Rowan Browning on the outside, and Nick Andrews running very fast, but it's Joseph Miller who's found his stride and he's pulling away. 10.26, the official winning time there. Sorry, unofficial winning time. Win +1. But Trey Williams is your Australian champion.
He is your Australian champion because, as we said, if you're in New Zealand, you take it out. First Australian across the line gets the gold medal. Trey Williams got his start. He got his start, but Joseph Miller, class athlete.
Who got the minor medals? Browning, Andrews, Breslin. Hard to tell. I don't know.
I'm calling Breslin. I'm calling Breslin second.
Here we go. Trey Williams, 10.29, the second fastest
Breslin
time he's
second.
ever run. Trey Williams, the first Australian.
Maybe Browning third. We'll have to wait for this.
This could be a three-way tie. We're all up looking at the screen.
These officials are going to have a hard time of working this out.
It's lucky we've got the best in the world down here.
10.25, 10.29 with only a 0.1 wind.
It's that start. It is outstanding and pushed Joseph Miller to his third fastest time of all time, but they're working very, very hard.
I reckon we would have seen some sub-10.2s. Oh, there we go. Aaron Breslin.
10.46, taking the silver medal.
I feel like a drum roll is needed.
We're waiting to see who can take out the third Australian. I'd love to see a dead heat. Nick Andrews and Rowan
get
Browning.
them all up there.
Keeping a strong eye on that board. It's a tough gig. It's going down to the thousandth, I'm telling you. They might all be 46, but even split.
You guys obviously can't see the screen currently, but the first three results, there we go.
Rowan Browning. 10.47. There's your bronze medal. Probably the youngest podium we've had. 10.47. Nick Andrews losing the bronze by 1,000.
10.47 as well. So 10.46, 10.47, 10.47 for third, fourth and fifth. Jeez. We're going to cut down to Tamsin. Looks like she's down there on the grass. She's got our top three.
No, I've only got the top
two.
What a way to finish the night. That was such an exciting race. Obviously, it took so long to get the results up. You guys were clear first and second, but to get the minor medals was very tight. Joseph, we thought you were going to take the win. You looked good through the rounds.
Starting to run out of steam towards the end, but yeah, it's been a long season. I think that's the first race in 2 months that I haven't PB'd when I've run, but that was a good fun race.
It was. You can tell. I love when the 100-metre races are on because the crowd just goes really silent. You can tell something special's about to happen. You start in the final. It's hard to tell because this man, Trey, got away so darn fast and you were next to him. But how did you feel the start went?
Wasn't one of my better starts, but of course, measuring against this guy is a pretty tough comparison. But yeah, just got out and knew that with all the training I'd done, I'd had enough to get there in the end. So yeah, I mean, I enjoyed myself, so I'm happy I came.
So it's a great season for you so far. You're going to run the 200 metres tomorrow?
We're still deciding.
Okay.
Feel in the morning.
Okay, and then from here, you've got to go chase that time, surely.
Yeah. I think by the time I'm over in London doing all that sort of stuff, hopefully I'll be in some form to do it in the prep for the World Champs. So yeah, that's the plan.
Brilliant. Well, we're going to all be watching closely. Good luck. We hope that you get the time and we see you in London.
Cool, thank you very much.
Now, Trey, national champion. I saw you in Perth win the under-20 title last year. Yeah. They talk about transition to seniors being tough, but it's been a breeze.
Yeah, no, it's tough coming against Miller, all the other boys, but you have to get used to it, I guess.
I don't think I've ever seen you get a bad start. Is it just your reaction is so good, or do you just practice that in training?
I think it's just a bit natural now because I'm probably one of the shorter athletes here. It's like more powerful out of the blocks, so it's get a bit better. But yeah, obviously a lot of practice as well.
And you go with a wide stance, like arms really wide and on the start line. Is that just because you're so strong?
Yeah, that's what I've always done, so I get used to it.
And you look like you've worked on your finish because you're finishing really strongly as well. Has that been something that you've worked on in training?
Yeah, definitely. That's the main thing we've been working on training. So, my start's always good, so we've got to concentrate on that back end, try and get that a bit better.
Now, I asked Joseph if he was going to do the 2. He's sitting on the fence. What about you?
Unfortunately, I think I am, yes. Yeah, probably will tomorrow, so get home, get some good sleep and come back tomorrow.
I think that's why we've seen you improve so much in the 100. And under pressure, you're running relaxed. You are calm when the guys are coming at you. And it's probably because you have been doing some great 200s. So I think it's a great decision, and we're really excited to watch you do the 2. You're going to have to surely celebrate a little bit tonight.
Yeah, probably go out, have a nice dinner somewhere. But yeah.
Nice, that's all you can do, but then you can hit the after party tomorrow night.
Sunday night.
I love it. Well done. You're winner of the 100 metres, Trey Williams.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Well done to Trey. Absolutely pumped for him. Well done to the Queenslander. And apart from those two out in front, 10.46 to 10.57 between 3rd and 8th. So tight.
It's a close race. And as we said before, it's good to see this for Australian sprinting.
Yeah, well done to Trey Williams. His 3rd fastest time ever. He's done 2:27s and now a 29 in the big races.
And we look at this and we can't forget that obviously Hartman wasn't there, Jack Hale wasn't there, Josh Clark wasn't there. Like, we're in a good position.
Tom Gamble, we'll see him again in the 200. We heard of him before. But if you want to be a part of this, if you want to be maybe a coach, maybe an official, you want to travel the world, stay involved in the sport, head to athletics.com.au for more information. There's now learning and development opportunities as well as paid coaching roles available throughout the new Sporting Schools program in all primary schools nationally. The sport won't run without coaches, and it won't run especially without officials.
Definitely not. There isn't. I can't really think of an athlete who's had major success and gone coaching alone. It just doesn't happen.
It doesn't.
Coaches are vital for the success of athletes, but also the development of the sport. Obviously we need them here, and they are so important, as are officials. Obviously, if we didn't have officials, we wouldn't have a competition. Or we would, but it would be chaos.
It wouldn't be official.
It wouldn't be official. No one would be qualifying for anything.
Nope.
No one would be going off to World Champs or Olympic Games. So we obviously, both coaches and officials, vital to the sport.
And in first place, recipient of the gold medal, an Australian champion.
Still one more day left. Sunday, day 8.
Day 8.
Of the 2017 Australian Athletics Championships. What a long championships. We've been here since last Sunday. Yep. Coming back again tomorrow. It'll be a day stream. Our first day stream of the champs.
Yes, but I've loved it. Honestly, I love the 8-day competition. It's great to see that the juniors can come here and watch the open athletes they may not get to ordinarily watch. As we see there, the results from your javelin throw, Kelsey Lee Roberts taking out in 61.40. That's a World Champs qualifier. Second, Tori Peters from New Zealand, 56.74. In third, Risa Mayashita from Japan, 54.07. Catherine Brooks from Victoria, 53.50. And we have to go down to Tori West, actually, to find our bronze medalist in a throw of 46.55.
It looks like Tams is down there with our first two in at the javelin.
I am. I'm down here with the winner of the javelin, Kelsey Lee Roberts, and Tori Peters, who got second. Firstly, the qualifier for the World Champs is 61 metres 40, and you just nailed it. Yeah. Not too far, not just under, 61 metres 40, first round.
Yeah. Can you make it any closer? It was pretty awesome. No wiggle room, but got the job done.
So it's pretty hard to come back and do the next 5 throws after that, I could imagine.
Yeah, I was really amped up. I was so excited. There was definitely more to come, a little bit more out there. Would have loved a PB, but stoked to walk away with that.
Did you come into this competition feeling that was well within your range to do the qualifier? That's what you were after?
Yeah, it was a matter of getting the qualifier done, but I felt like there was more out there. That's why it's kind of like, yes, but there was a little bit more. So, I wanted to come out and actually PB tonight. I didn't quite get that done. But, hey, World Champs qualifier.
Tick the box, won the national titles. You've got your World Champs qualifier. You're going to find yourself in London World Champs. Hold those PB throws to that qualifying round.
Well, that's it. I don't want to peak too early. If I can show I'm in good form here and build on consistency, which I've kind of done throughout the season. I was the season's best tonight, so I'll go to Europe, have a few throws there, just keep chipping away. And, yeah, if I can come out at World Champs and PB, I mean, you can't ask for any more than that. And that's what we'll aim for now.
Well, I tell you what, for Nitro, where they were doing the target one, you would have been perfect. 61.40, bang.
Yeah, nailed it.
Well done. Well, good luck in your preparation. Can't wait to watch you in London.
Yeah, thanks so much.
And we'll go across the border, across the Trans-Tasman. New Zealander competing in the Australian National Championships, 56.74 in the 5th round. Happy with that?
Yeah, very happy. This year the season's sort of been a bit up and down, and I threw a PB at Nitro, but unfortunately it didn't count for a New Zealand record because of the accuracy thing.
Not a sanctioned event.
Yeah. So tonight to get a New Zealand record in a sanctioned event is pretty awesome, and I'm really happy with how the season's finished up.
What a great competition for you ladies. You know what? I think you're going to be celebrating quite hard tonight, and you deserve it. So go off and enjoy the night. Well done.
Yeah.
What a night it's been.
Talking about cutting it close. Honestly, if I was Kelsey and they came back with 61.39, I'd be straight out there on the field.
Protest.
Just to make sure they got it correct. Because honestly, it comes down to such small margins.
It comes down to the placement of the EDM machine, where it's stuck in.
Exactly.
Just that little blade of grass held up for a little bit. But now, talking of Kelsey Lee Roberts, if you want to go and be part of the action, if you can't make it out on the track, make it up in the stands. The first Aussie Aths tour was in 2015, an amazing time for all. And they're going back there to the World Championships in 2017, 4th to the 13th of August, in the Olympic Stadium. It's been relayed, and I've heard people say it's one of the fastest stadiums they've ever been involved in. Benny, how did it feel?
Amazing.
Amazing.
Absolutely amazing. You can't, honestly, it's one of the best stadiums in the world.
Plenty to do over there. Big Ben, Buckingham Palace.
Yep.
All that stuff out there, and we're back here again.
We are back here again. We're back here tomorrow, but just a bit of a reminder to the audience, don't forget daylight saving finishes tonight, so make sure you adjust the clocks, because obviously we don't want you to miss out on any action.
Well, the best thing is, because the clocks go back, so you won't miss anything. It should be early.
It should be early. There you go. So instead of, obviously it's 9:14 now, it will be 8:14. No.
Yes.
Yes, it will be. It will be.
If you're in Queensland, don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it for Queenslanders.
Tamsin, you've been trackside. You've been part of the action all night. What was your favourite moment?
Well, I'd have to say it was Luke Matthews' attempt at Ryan Gregson's celebration. That was pretty funny, but I'd have to say that men's 800, wasn't it a cracker? It was close. You couldn't call it until the finish line. Even then, you had to look at the replay. Brilliant race to watch. The women's 1500, love that as well. Quality athletes out there battling to the finish line. And I did enjoy both those 100 metres.
Oh, you've just taken all the events. What have you left
I know,
us for?
Sorry, I'm so excited down trackside. It was so phenomenal tonight.
I've got to say, Kelsey hitting that qualifier. I got enough chance to have a chat to her during the Summer of Baths Grand Prix, and she wanted it then. She didn't get it, but hit it on the first attempt. And really good to see Julian Ruck back again, taking that title, and maybe we'll see him go up and up. He's the second furthest discus thrower we've ever had in history, and I reckon I can see him back there now.
Yep, and for me, I'm going to go switch it up a little bit, not just to the winners, but also, as I said before, Jackson Klett running 46 for the first time, taking his maiden national medal.
What a time to do it.
What a time to do it. And the other one for me, Alan Jones. Good to see him back. Yeah. Good to see him back on the podium. He's one of the veterans of the track and field.
He's probably won a lot of... That's the thing with this triple jump. It goes in, say, ebbs and flows.
Yep.
It's got Andrew Murphy for almost 20 years, and now it's the Alan Jones era.
Yep.
He's still there. He's still jumping 16 metres.
Yep.
What a night it is. We'll be back again Sunday for the 200s. We'll go for the women's 8, the men's 15. It's going to be a cracking event. The men's long jump. It's going to be awesome. The male javelin, the women's discus. What a night. The hurdles.
Big Nick Huff, he rode in before.
4 hurdles, 1 hurdles. They'll be on the back straight. They'll be using that tailwind if they need to. What a night. So stay tuned for the Australian Athletics Championships, day 8 of 8 for 2017. Good night.
Saw a father bashing his own son.
And all the parents were arguing with each other. It was really stressful and it made me just not feel good at all.
I stopped because I was being yelled at and it just wasn't any fun anymore.
If they've got to yell out, they could say like something encouraging, like good job or good pass.
You're doing great. You're good, just keep trying and you'll get there.
Just let kids be kids.